Great day, great day, great day, guys. It is your girl, Sister Soul, and Sister Alma. We've been trying to get this set up for the last couple of days, and it's been all kind of distractions. I had a lot of stuff going on. Basically, me and Sis are on different times. I just want to talk to you guys a lot about what's going on with the energies in sunbathing and how that particular energy can do things for your body when it comes to the healing and so on and so forth. So we're going to chat on that real quick. And before we get started, sister, what's going on with you? How you doing this morning?
Oh, peace, my beautiful sister. I'm doing great. Glad to be with you on the panel. And I want to say welcome to everybody.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us. Whoever get in here real quick, y'all already know we about to get some little information going for y'all.
Yes.
Um, we're gonna start talking about. I wonder if I should. I don't want to get off topic, guys, because a lot of this stuff really goes hand in hand a lot of times. So it's really hard for me to stick to one thing. But I am gonna focus. This won't be an extremely long stream. It will be a very informative stream to open your eyes and your mind up to the things that are I guess, it could be detrimental to you if you're not in the right mind space. Let me say it like that. When it comes to the sun, right, we talk about, I talk about sun gazing, meditating, being able to cleanse yourself by eating healthy and properly and doing the things that are going to be beneficial to you with your mind, body, and soul. When you have these three things, the trinity of health coinciding, you're going to have a better solution, obviously. So this is common sense. We're talking about it first. We're talking about, just taking care of yourself, which is a natural thing. Being good to your body, being good to your mind, being good to your spirit. Actually, I'm having some sinus issue, guys, so you got to excuse me. You have to kind of make sure that you're aligning balances within yourself so that everything is coinciding and is running very smoothly. Let's say that. Like when you have your car, you have to keep the proper maintenance of your vehicle. You might have something going on with the engine that's going to deter everything with the vehicle running. You can have one small thing with the electricity of the battery that's going to start the glitch. You can have something else going on where you're not getting the proper functioning, like the alternator or starter to get it going. That's going to misfunction the whole entire entity, right? So when it comes to us, right, and we're thinking about everything running smoothly within the vehicle, the car, which is the makarba, which is the actual fluctuation of energy that actually moves your body in the proper forces to either be beneficial or non-beneficial to you. So when it comes to that, the sun gazing and meditation go hand in hand, right? If you're trying to create a healthy lifestyle, a healthy body, coinciding with the natural organic atmosphere that the earth thrives off of, this is what you're going to need to do. I think it's very important for us to talk about the sun gazing because what a lot of people don't understand is the reason there's a lot going on with sun gazing and people using this as even a source of food and fuel for their body, right? The sun is actually used in some cases as um, nutrition. People use sun gazing and they will sun gaze, and there's times where they won't eat for months. There's a gentleman. I should could have put that up. I may find a link and add it to the description later. But there's a gentleman that actually has sunbathed up to 3 months, 4 months, 6 months without any type of nutrients, just from the energy of the sun. So when we think about these things and how we can be benefited from the natural sources in energy to promote health in our body and in our lives, the sun being the one of the main sources that is the thrive for everything that actually helps and enhances us, even the secondhand things. We think about the photosynthesis when it comes to the fruits and vegetables and herbs and these things. When we think about the effervescence of the different flowers and things of that nature. These things actually help promote healing even in the atmosphere of the earth and the universe, because they're sending off a particular chemical, and this chemical is productive to the biochemistry, the bio connection, and the magnetism and the electromagnetism from the photosynthesis that these plants give off. There's an energy that ignites certain chemicals that are exuded into the air. This is why when you get a bouquet of flowers or something of the sort, you're smelling it, your senses are awakened and aware to that. So it actually can help when you're attuning yourself to nature and becoming in sync. So, that's just one thing. So meditation, when you're meditating, it's very important to be aware of what you're doing. Do not go into like deep states of meditation if you're not aware, if you're not strong mentally enough. Some people have went into states of meditation and they're not able to actually come back, believe it or not. So if you're new to meditating, you have to make sure that you're starting in the proper way. You're cleansing yourself. You're spiritually strong. You have enough that is to strengthen your mind, body, and soul, that when you're doing this, it's going to be able to push these toxins out of you, the EMFs, the ELFs, all the things that are low vibrational frequencies that actually hold and harness your energy down to this realm. And as long as you're being harnessed and held down in this particular realm, it's very hard to ascend mentally and get yourself to a better state, which would be a clean mind, body, and soul. So with this process of the trinity of these three things, it helps with the oscillation of the energy that is boosted through your photonic system, which is the plasma in your blood, that actually creates the protective barrier inner and outside of your body. The protective barrier that comes in that will start to help to crystallize and formulate the proper balance to your cells due to the proper, the natural harmonic chemistry that you're putting into your body. This is all based off of alchemy, the alchemy of the body and the health meeting with the mind and spirit. These three things coincide and help to bring things to a certain level where we're able to actually bridge a gap. Okay. And that's what we're going to get into when it comes to the sun gazing. There are ways to do that, bridging that gap. For some people, you have to be prepared because it can be, very powerful process. And this is why I wanted to get into that. So when it comes to that in our meditating, we're going to get into talking about the sun. Before I start talking too much, sis, did you have, Janet, thanks for joining us this morning, sis. Great day, great light, great energy and love, babe. Did you have anything to say about the meditating or anything particularly, sis, on that before we get to talking about the sun gazing itself?
No, you can go ahead because I told you I was gonna try to stream it on my this live on my channel also. I'm doing that, but they're telling me in the chat no sound, so I'm trying to fix that. So you
Okay.
can go ahead. Yeah.
All right, babe. No problem.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, let's talk about the sunbeam's energy. We are connected to that energy being the source, so on and so forth, right? So when it comes to sun gazing, before I get into the energy of, let me say this. When you're starting off with this process, right, you have to be very astute to being um, taking it in a slow process. What you can do, you can start by maybe, I would say 3 to 4 minutes at a maximum. Do this for a while, gradually taking yourself up to maybe 8 minutes, 10 minutes, at a maximum 18 to 20 minutes of sun gazing, right? The reason this can be detrimental is because of the photic retinopathy that will actually cross that barrier. The title we have, sun gazing, the window to your soul. The reason I have that is because there's an actual portal that's open when you're doing a maximum amount of sun gazing. And this is something that is the retinopathy. With this, they consider it to be a dysfunction, or it harms your eyes, or this is what is taught. It's a medical condition. So when they say something's a condition, that means that it's harmful, right? Or it can hurt you. So when it comes to the sun's energy in itself and the barrier, there's a barrier that is on the retina that actually can be broken when it comes to that, right? When we think about that, sun gazing promotes these particular portals in the brain's hemisphere to actually open. When we talk about the things that are the portals in the mind, and when I talk about the crystallization of the Christos, the crystallization in your mind that forms a gas aspect that actually protects you, this is another particular barrier that is put up that can be blocked. There's a barrier between the eye, the retina area in the brain, and when that particular area is broken because of this particular film that the retina has that has been proceeded through from the energy of the sun, it actually opens that particular portal to that third eye that we think about, and it gives us certain clarity in vision. So when they say it's a condition, let's read a little bit about that. Let me pull that up for you guys real quick because I want you to see this. Okay, let me share with you guys one moment. Get this going for you because I want you to partake in this particular information and pull it in and know exactly what I'm saying so you can see it for yourself. Okay, now sis says I never knew that's what it was called. When is the best time to sun gaze? Been doing this and never understood what I was doing. I'm learning. I'm glad, sis. This is what I want to do. Make sure that we are aware of these things. We need to know what we're doing, the processes of these things, and I talk about it a lot. So I thought it was very important for us to, talk about this information, get it out, so on and so forth. So it is actually. Let me put it in the chat. So if anyone wants to look it up and get this information at a later time, you be able to do that. Okay. All right. It's called Photic Retinopathy. We're about to get into this right now, right? So we're sharing the screen, and I'm going to just read some of the information on this so you guys will know why they say it's a condition that's harmful. And then I'll get a little bit into after what they say was harmful and, be taking it a little more delicately into how it can actually benefit you. So photic retinopathy is damage to the eye's retina, right? Particularly the macula from prolonged exposure to solar radiation or other bright lights. So laser, some people like welders, so on and so forth. It says lasers or arc welders. The term includes solar, laser, and welders retinopathy and is synonymous with retinal phototoxicity. It usually occurs due to staring at the sun. So we know what that is. That's sun gazing, right? So it usually occurs due to sun gazing. Let's say that. Watching a solar eclipse. Let's say that, or viewing an ultraviolet illuminant or other very, very bright light. Now, me myself, I'm going to mention this. They say it's dangerous to watch a solar eclipse. I've done that twice. I've seen two solar eclipses live. It didn't do anything to me. I don't know if it's because my film is already gone or what, but it didn't bother me. But they say that is another way that you'd be able to cause this damage to that retina, as they say, the damage, right? So let's get into this. All right. So vision loss due to solar retinopathy is typically reversible. So it's something that can be healed. So that film, let's remember this as we're reading this. I'm going to be going over this information on the other side later. Great light, sis. Great morning, love and energy. You already know. When it comes to that. So it says that the vision loss, so it's telling you that there's a certain vision loss that occurs due to solar retinopathy. This is what they tell you, right? Um, and it's typically reversible, so lasting for as short as 1 month or to 1 year. The fundus changes are variable and usually bilateral, Mild cases often show to alteration, and moderate to severe cases show a foveal yellow spot on the first days after exposure. After a few days, it is replaced by a reddish dot, often surrounded by pigment. Permanent holes. Hear this part, guys. Permanent holes and lesions are possible, prolonged worsened with dilated pupils or prolonged exposure. If you ever went to the eye doctor, you know when you've had your pupils dilated, they give you these dark, dark shades to wear because when you go out there, once your pupil is dilated, it's like that light is so bright, it like hits you. Like it's very powerful. It's very strong, right? That is because of the penetration and that retina has been exposed and it's open when they do the dilation. So when you're having these the retinopathy, this is what's going on. It's like a permanent dilation of your pupil because that film has been removed. Okay. All right. And where were we at? So yes, it says permanent holes and lesions are possible. Um, Prognosis worsens with dilated pupils or the prolonged exposure. Although it is frequently claimed that the retina is burned by looking into the sun, retina damage appears to occur primarily due to photochemical injury rather than thermal injury. So they say it's burned, but they say it's due to the chemical from the solar system, right? So we have to understand if it's that, or, we're going to discuss that as I said. So I'm reading this to you guys. Now, the energy is phototoxic. When we think about something that's phototoxic, that's a picture of toxicity, which means that that energy is actually drawing on that with the toxic energy that it has. It's like a violet ray. Think of it in that way. Since light promotes oxidation, chemical reactions occur in the exposed tissues with unbonded oxygen molecules. If you guys saw a video, me and Sister Alma were talking about the bonding of water molecules and how the oxygen and the hydrogen bond together to actually form everything, right? It also appears that the central serious retinopathy can be a result of a depression in the treated solar damaged eye. So being decompressed, there can be like some type of injury, physical injury, or something of that sort. The duration of exposure necessarily to cause injury varies with the intensity of light and also affects the possibility of length of recovery. So if you're having this issue and you're continuously exposing yourself, it's going to actually continue the process before it starts to promoting the healing. So it will actually help to enhance the opening of that particular barrier as well. So, that just keep that in mind, right? Let's see. Diagnosis. So a person with I'm sorry, with photic retinopathy may notice an impairment in their vision. For example, a spot that does not go away for reasonable recovery time, or a burning in the eye. They may also have eye pain or headaches. Vision impairment is usually in both eyes, but can be in just one. Impairment of the person with the 20/20 vision usually ends up being about 20/40 or 20/60, but can be better or far worse. Even with the injury of my eye, the eye that I do have perfect vision in, it is 20/20, even with the sun gazing I've done over the years. So let's just keep that in mind as well. Just mentioning that. A doctor examining an eye with retinopathy may be able to see no signs at all or a slight macular edema. That would be like, how you see a person, they'll have like a line in their eye. It's red, sometimes it's dark. It would be like a little spot. That would be the edema of the eye, which is a sort of blister or something on or under the macula. That's an oval colored spot, normally visible to an eye doctor or each person's retina. That's what I was just explaining. That's what this says. So, but even the edema goes away within a few days. The patient will generally develop a discolorization of the retina at the injured point, often yellow or white, turning red over the next few weeks. So, if you notice it look red, a different color. Sometimes if it doesn't go away, if it's damaged real bad, the person will have those dark brown spots in their eyes from that, right? So when it comes to that, the treatment of the photic retinopathy generally goes away on its own, as they said, over time. But there is no specific treatment known to be reliable for speeding this particular recovery up. I spoke last week on the health and the eye preparation. They say that, but actually, coriander seeds. Hold on. All right. Actually, the coriander seeds, if you can do a flush with the coriander, make an eye wash, that actually helps with the recovery. So that's just another thing. Um, so just for that. So generally speaking, they say people are diagnosed with photic retinopathy, recovering visual acuity completely within 2 months. So it takes about 2 months. And with more severe cases, it may take a little longer. As they said earlier, it may take about a year. So that's just something um, to keep in mind when it comes to that. Sis, did you have anything to say about that particular portion before I go on? I don't want to just keep reading, reading, reading. If you want to say something about that, or definitely want to give you the option. If I know you said you were doing something, but
Yeah,
if not,
yeah.
I'm gonna get to another screen.
Okay. I was struggling with the sound, but I think I managed. They can hear me now on over there. So no, it is interesting because I didn't know all that. Like so no, I don't have any questions about that in
Okay.
particular. Yeah.
All right, darling. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna share a little more information with y'all. Let's talk a little bit about the eye of providence, or the all-seeing eye of God that we hear about, right? Thinking about what we just talked about, we're going to get back to the sun gazing. We're going to get back to the photic retinopathy and the benefits and the things that they talked about, and showing us that it can be damaging. And, we'll kind of see what we think about that, right? Give us some options here to see, what's good for us. It might be good for the goose, and it might not be good for the gander. You know how that goes. So let's talk about that in a minute. I'm going to read this to you guys rather quickly, just to give you an idea or put something else in your mind. Since we're talking about the eye. Okay, the eye of providence, or the all-seeing eye of God, is a symbol that depicts an eye, often enclosed in a triangle. As people see the eye of Horus, the you see people associated with the Illuminati, all this type of thing, right? But it's actually called the eye of providence. Just so you have that in mind. It's a triangle, and it's surrounded by the rays of light or glory, meant to represent divine providence, whereby the eye of God watches over humanity. We've talked about this numerous occasions. If you haven't, you may have to go back on the video. When we're thinking about the eye of God, we can think about that ray being the false simulated eye, because we're dealing with the false simulated eye of God. And then we have the natural one that we are trying to resonate and connect to. So we're going to get into that as well, right? So, a well known example of the Eye of Providence appears on the reverse of the Great Seal of the United States, which is depicted in the United States $1 bill. We see that on that pyramid on the dollar bill. People have talked about that. So, we're very familiar about the information when it comes to this explosion of it being tied to Freemasonry, Illuminati, per se, and all these things, right? The association of an eye with the concept of divine providence is found in Christianity. Go figure. In late Renaissance European iconography, the eye surrounded by a triangle let me move this. Sorry, was an explicit image of the Christian Trinity. The mind, body, and soul. We were just talking about that when we were talking about the clarification of the mind, body, and soul, and the purity and the clarity of that. Talking about the fogginess, right? When we think about that, there's that silent H, the things that actually is hidden. The silent H is the hidden information, the hidden light, the hidden transgression, the hidden mirror of the false ascension to make you think something's one thing and something else. But that's a whole nother discussion. Um, the Eye of Providence was later painted over an image of three faces in Patorma's 1525 Supper of Emmaus. I'm not even familiar with that, but that's what it says. 1525 Supper of Emmaus. I've never heard of that. I'm not familiar, but either way. 17th century depictions of the eye sometimes show it surrounded by clouds or sunburst. Think about that. The eye is surrounded. I'm going to read this part one more time. 17th century depictions of the eye. That's giving you an idea. When you hear depictions, it's giving a picture for you to see, so you will be able to go into depth with that particular thing, and it will give you some information. So a depiction of the eye sometimes shows in surrounding of clouds or sunbursts, right? The eye and sunburst cloud. Keep that in mind when we get into the discussion again about, the sun gazing and the benefits of it, right? Versus the things that they say are harmful. The eye of God is a triangle. It's still used as the church architecture and the Christian art to symbolize the Trinity of God's omnipresence and divine presence. Not realizing that the churches are built on ley lines. They're on certain ley lines that give certain frequency and oscillation from portals. When people are in churches and they're praising and worshiping, they're getting their energies built up and they're doing all these things. These particular things actually help to open portals and harness certain energies that can be tapped into and used for other purposes. While they're thinking they're serving an almighty God, their sky daddy God, the physical God, not understanding the omnipresence would mean that there is no physical concept, that this is all a mental, physical thing that I have to connect to. I need to have that one connection, that one on one with the source so that I know what is the true source, right? So thinking that and keeping that in mind when they, are using these places to keep people further in the dark. Okay. I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You had something to say about that, sis? Real
No, no,
quick.
no, go on.
Not fine. I know sometimes you be wanting to say something. You be quiet,
No,
but
no, no. I was just
uh,
agreeing. Yeah.
yes, sis. So when it
Mhm.
comes to portals to the third eye, the damage is known as solar retinopathy, as we talked about. So this occurs with the UV light, usually burning a hole into that tissue. It destroys the rods in the cones of the retina and create a small blind spot in the central vision, known as the scotoma. Now, this is the part we're talking about. This is the window to the soul. This is what we're actually speaking on when we're talking about opening the portal, opening the hemispheres of the brain. You're literally being able to tap into the third eye's vision via opening this blind spot, right? So, as I said, they say that it's a damage, right? And it occurs with the UV light, so on and so forth, burning a hole in the retina. But we know, and we previously read that it does not literally burn a hole into it from the light necessarily. It could be a chemical that's going on from the solar radiation, right? In these particular tissues, what they do, they destroy the rods and the cones of the retina and create a small blind spot, as it said, in the central vision, which is that center spot that's known as scotoma. This is where there's this window, as I stated, there's a shield that actually protects certain third visions and things. So we're going to get into that more too. The damage is called, as I said, the solar retinopathy. It's essential to the layman's term. You burn that retina. Let me see. These are some notes, guys. Let me go now. I have to email myself sometimes on what I want to talk about. I was going to bring this up, so I had this in here, but we did go to the Wikipedia, and I was able to read the whole thing to you guys real quick, so we can bypass that. And okay, I want to talk about the cells. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, can I just say something quick or ask something quick?
Oh, definitely, sis. Go ahead.
Like you were mentioning, like I don't know if it has something to do with that, but this morning,
Hmm.
I washed my face, and then all of a sudden I started seeing how do you man, it's like little lights, but they're like fire, like you know how
Yes.
sparks
Ex-
look,
yes, sis.
and they were
Ex-
like pew 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 pew, and they were coming from my chest. I don't
now,
know what the.
now that could possibly be. Were you? Was this when you first got up, sis? Like getting up, going right to the bathroom? Were you already up?
I was already up, putting on my clothes, and yeah. So, mm,
Now, have you been having any issues with your vision lately? I know you wear the glasses sometimes. Is it
yeah.
just for reading, or is it something that you need, to be able to see really good? Because it may be something going on with your script. Says you may need to get your script checked. And it could have been that the light, when you were in the bathroom, I don't know how bright your bathroom light is, that light, it may have hit your eyes, so that can happen. Because it's the same thing with certain lights. It's not necessarily just the sun. If it's a bright light or, it automatically shocks the retina, you can have that effect. It'll look like
No,
sometimes. Oh, go ahead, sis. I'm
like
sorry.
okay. So even before I wore glasses, right?
Hmm.
I used to get these headaches, but before like migraines. But before that, would the migraine would come, I used to see like little sparks, like it's like fire, but the sparks of it. Like,
Now, have you ever had any type of problems with the sugar diabetes or anything of that nature, sis? Because I was about to get into that part too, because that can play a problem with that sometimes. Have you ever had that problem, or no?
mm-hmm.
Okay, that's probably what it is, babe. So
Oh,
maybe your sugar was imbalanced. I was just about to talk about that. That's crazy.
okay, okay, okay.
Yep, your sugar could have possibly been imbalanced, babe. So just especially with you getting up, you haven't been eating nothing, you've been laying down, so you probably had a
Mhm.
little, yeah. So that definitely can happen, babe.
Okay, okay. I'm
Perfect.
listening.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, oh, I was gonna go on and talk about the cells. So as it says right here, the retinopathy can be caused by other conditions as well, such as diabetes or abnormal blood flow. I was so when you think about that, when you thinking about we just went over that, but you asking that question, sis. That's crazy. So it's covered a little bit of that for you. And when we think about abnormal blood flow, that could be, how like you're sleeping, you'd be like, oh, feels like my leg sleep. You'll go to hit it, or your arm sleep, or your shoulder, or something. You go to hitting it. You go to hitting it. You're trying to wake it up. That's because of the abnormal blood flow. So those particular conditions can actually cause that as well.
But
Okay. So go ahead,
okay.
sis.
No, but you know how when sometimes you're when you're making a selfie or filming yourself.
Yes.
With me, I always see like little orbs.
The little and they're in a triangular shape. It's usually like three or four of them, right?
Man, there are a lot. Like, but little orbs, like floating, like it looks like little cotton balls, but they're like see-through, like transparent.
Yes.
Hmm. So
Now, are you
yeah,
saying when are you just a very? I think I know what you're talking about, sis. I'm trying to see. So when you're seeing it, right? If you close your eyes, you can still see them, right?
no, nope.
Okay, so that's something different. If I'm not mistaken, sis, that does definitely have something to do with the diabetes, huh? So maybe you should just make sure you're checking your sugar a little more. And I know you said you've been doing certain stuff with your eating. It might be going off track a little bit because you've been changing your diet a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah, so just be careful with that. Make
But
sure you watching and stuff. I think
but
on that.
no, I see them on the screen like little orbs. It's not with my eyes. Only when I look at
Oh.
yeah, only when I look at the video, I'm like, wait a minute, what's that? It's like little orbs floating, like
It may be because of the light from the screen, sis. It's the Kim. The Kim computer is connected to us. So, you could be feeling something from that. It could be pulling some energy from you. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to say too much on it because I'm not familiar with it.
I'm gonna show you
I
one of
thought you
them.
were talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you
Okay.
one
Yeah,
time
show me. We
so
can
you'll
talk
see.
about it
Yeah,
definitely because that,
okay. Let me
I'm
bring it up.
interested.
Yeah. Okay.
So, when it comes to that, talking about the blood flow, so on and so forth, we're going to talk about the ganglion cells, and these things have axons that form the optic nerve. So they are on the front or right at the front of the retina. Therefore, the optic nerve must cross through the retina, which is en route to the brain. So some of the vertebrates, including the humans, have an area of the central retina adapted for the high acuity, the vision, the fovea. So the fovea is a depressed in the inner retina surface. It's about a 1.5 millimeter wide, and the photoreceptor layer of which uh, is entirely encased with the cones, and which is specialized for maximum visual acuity within the fovea in the area of the zero point 0.5 millimeters of that diameter. That's called the fovea, the fovea avascular zone. Let me pronounce that again because that didn't sound right. It's called the fovea avascular zone. Thank you. The avascular zone, which is an area without any blood vessels. So it's no blood vessels in this particular area, and it's a minimal part of that. So in that other part, the 1% of that, because there's the 1.5 of it, that 1%, it does have the blood, but the blood vessels within it. But that 0.5% within the very center, the foveal avascular zone, that's the area that does not have any blood vessels. Okay, so the fovea is employed for accurate vision in the direction where it is pointed. So there's your peripheral vision. If you hear about peripheral vision, the things that you can see. Like if you're looking at something, you still see something else. You might see you have your focus on this, but on the side of your eye, you're seeing something else going on, but you're still really looking at this thing. You're just seeing all these other things. So the fovea is responsible for the directed sight. You know what you're looking at directly and what your focus is on. It comprises less than 1% of the retinal size, but takes up over 50% of the visual cortex in the brain. Now, this is where we get into the brain, the thinking, the mental, the third eye. We're thinking about what's affecting that particular area because it has 50% of the visual cortex, which is committing to the wave formatting of the structure of things that you're seeing based off of what you're creating and manifesting in your reality. So the fovea sees only the central 2 degrees of the visual field, approximately twice the width of your thumbnail at arm's length. If an object is large and thus covers a large angle, the eyes must constantly shift their gaze to subsequently bring different portions of the image into the fovea. As in, we're reading. You know, when you're reading, that needs a lot more directed point because you have to look at the words and the letters just like I'm reading this. It's a focus on this particular thing. I'm looking at the screen, even though I see all these other things going on. Since the fovea does not have the rods, it is not sensitive to dim lighting. So, in order to observe dim stars, astronomers use averted vision, looking out of the side of their eyes where the density of rods is greater and hence dim objects are more easily visible. I'll read that again. Great light to you. The fovea, oh, I'm sorry, since the fovea does not have rods, the part that doesn't contain any of the blood vessels, it's not sensitive to the dim lighting. Therefore, in order to observe dim stars, when we're seeing stars, astronomers, they use the averted vision, which is looking out of the side of the eyes where the density, when we think about density, that's the lightness, because obviously there's no blood there that creates the heaviness, which is the photon energy in greater, and hence the dim objects are more easily visible, right? So the bobia has a high concentration of the yellow carotenoid pigments, the lutein and the zeaxanthin. They are concentrated in a Henle fiber layer. The photoreceptor axons then go radically outward from the fovea and to a lesser extent in the cones. They are believed to play a protective role against the effects of high intensities of blue light, which can damage the sensitive cones. It says that the blue light damages the cones. You guys heard me talking about the blue light energy, the blue flame energy. Just keep that in mind. The pigments also enhance the accuracy of the fovea by reducing the sensitivity of the fovea to short wavelengths. Here we go. We're talking about the wave formatting. This is telling you more about wave formatting. If you haven't looked into wave formatting, much as I've talked about it, guys, this is very important as well, and it plays a part in that. So keep that in mind. It's telling you right here to short wavelengths and counteracting the effects of the chromic aberration. This is also accompanied by the low density, guys, in the blue cones at the center of the fovea. The maximum density of the blue cones occurs in a ring about the fovea. Consequently, the maximum Q for the blue light is lower than that of the other colors. And this occurs approximately 1% off center. Okay, we're just about done with this. I'm not going to read everything else, but I'm going to read this last part real quick. Now, sunlight's benefits. Sunlight offers surprising benefits. It energizes infecting, fighting T cells. Understand this, right? Sunlight, through a mechanism separate from than with the vitamin D production, it energizes T cells. Think about the T cells that's across, right? That play a central role in human immunity. Researchers have found that findings suggest how the skin and the medical body, which is the largest organism that we have, the largest organ is the body, the skin. It stays alert to the many microbes that can nest there, which is in the center. Their findings published today in the scientific report suggest that how the skin, the body's largest organ, stays alert to the many microbes that can nest there. Now, I told you guys about the skin being, open portals, right? And when you're sun gazing and sun absorbing, you're pulling this information in, and the melanin within your skin actually starts to activate. The cells have a voltage of about 15 volts per cell. It starts the oscillation to create the density by the oscillation of the plasma, the photonic energy, the light energy, the neutrinos that are in your body to actually enhance you, creating your aura, your torus field, your protective barrier against things the inner and outer of you, right? All right. Let me go down a little more. What else did I want to read? Da, da, da.
Sis, can you
Yes.
I see I'm not how to say that? I'm not a moderator, so if you can mod me up, I can share the link.
Okay.
Yep.
I gotta go out. Okay, give me 1 second, sis.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do I have to do it from the
Let me see. You
Because
can
remember
do
I
it.
got the computer on, but I got the screen share up, and I'm talking from this because the computer's acting a
Oh,
little crazy.
so I usually go in the chat and then click on the name, and then you can, you know, you get options.
Oh, let me see.
If you go in the chat on your own channel. Oh, I don't know if you have your YouTube. Oh, whatever. We can do it another time.
Hold on, sis. I'm gonna check real quick. If it bounced me off, I'll be right back. Just hold it down 1 second.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, all of the stuff Sister Shoal is reading. I never knew that. So because I never
Should
none
be.
that
Is
I
it there now?
let me one moment. Sunday. Um, how do I do? Let me see if I type something.
Yeah, it said added. I think it said it added. Just want to make sure.
Okay. Yeah. Now.
Oh,
Yep. Thank you.
okay.
Okay.
Yes, no problem. Got you. Okay. So I'm gonna read a little bit more of this, guys, and then we're gonna get a little bit more into a discussion, and we'll be all set, right?
Yes.
It says, we all know that sunlight provides the vitamin D, which is suggested to have an impact on the immunity, obviously, among other things. We know that. But what we found in a completely separate role of sunlight's own immunity, says the studies of senior investigator Gerald Ahim, PhD, associate professor in the Georgetown Department of Pharmacology and Physiology. Some of the roles attributed to vitamin D on immunity may be due to this new mechanism, is what they say. It's not new, we know that. They specifically found that low levels of blue light found in the sun rays make the T cells move faster, making the first report of human cell responding to sunlight by speeding its pace. Now, keep in mind,
Wow.
sis, take notes, because you already know we got to cover a lot of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that
Mm-hmm.
something? Talking about the blue. I'm gonna read that part one more again. One more
Yeah.
again. Okay. It
Especially about the
says,
blue light. I want to hear
okay,
that again.
yes, yes. Let me go back. Which part? Okay, yes. It says they specifically found that low levels of blue light found in sun rays, didn't I tell you about that? Makes the T cells move faster. So that make you what that means. It obviously is energizing the T cells, right? They're
Yeah.
telling you right here, even though they say, "Oh, the sun don't do nothing for you." Da, 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 da. Here's a study that this doctor found that that's a damn lie. It says they specifically found that the blue light in that energy actually activates the T cells. Now, we've spoken about this, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you're thinking about activating the T cells, these are mother cells specifically in also in our melanin in the portals of our skin that actually open up. And I told you these C cells are activated because what? There's 15 volts of energy that is actually ignited when the sun hits the melanin. So when it hits the melanin, that particular cell, the energy in it, it lights up to 15 volts of energy. It actually then infuses the heat into the bloodstream, which makes the oscillation in the blood to form the crystals, the gas aspect in the mind. Because we have these diamonds and crystals within us because we're so great, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love it. So when it comes to that, the T cells, whether they are helper or killer, need to move to do their work, right? Which is to get to the side of an infection and orchestrate a response. The study shows that sunlight directly activates key immune cells by increasing their movement. What did I tell you? I've been telling y'all this forever. And I didn't even know I was going to talk about this part on the eyes. But you guys can go look this information up yourself on this particular part. I'm literally reading the article. I'm not, this isn't coming just from me. This has been verified information. I know y'all ain't believe what I say all the time, but I ain't gonna tell you nothing unless I know. And now here's another confirmation of that. They literally tell you that this is what's happening. The T cells are ignited. The cells just get the energy. They spark a boom and start sending that energy light code. The light coding is opened up within your cells. Once the light coding is opened up, you're therefore pulling in that informational codes, light coding to open up certain portals in your mind and in your brain. So this is why that bell. The veil. Let's talk about the veil being lifted from your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish this last paragraph so I can
Yes. Okay.
stop sharing the screen
I'm
so
gonna
we
view
can
it
hear
up.
each other.
Yes.
We about done, sis, definitely. So
Okay.
with that, they say that, right? And we're thinking about the response of that, right? So he added that while the production of the vitamin D requires the UV light, which can promote the skin cancer and what is it? The melanoma, blue light from the sun as well as from spectral lights are safer. When a baby is born and they're having issues, that's the type of light that they also put them under in the NICU unit, right? And while the human T cells they study in the laboratory were not specific skin T cells, they say they were associated from mouse cell culture and from human blood. So if it was from human blood, they're talking about our cells, right? I mean, they said it wasn't from, but that didn't make sense. But the skin has a large share of the T cells in humans. He says approximately twice the number circulating in the blood. We know that the blue light can reach the dermis, the second layer of the skin, and that those T cells can move throughout the body. So that means what did I just say? It's hitting the melanin. So they're talking about the melatonin. We think when they're talking about this stuff, the melanoma, this is something that we don't really get. We don't really get melanoma. We don't really get skin cancer. If possible, with some people, I guess that would depend on your bloodline and where you've come from and the cellular structure of yourself and your physical body. You may be susceptible to that, but most of us, original beings are not. Just keep that in mind. So, the skin has a larger of that, as they said. So we know that the blue light can reach the dermis, and the researchers further decoded how the blue light makes the T cells move more by tracing the molecular pathway activated by the light. So they just said right here, the molecular pathway is activated by the light. More confirmation of what I told y'all, and I'm not making this stuff up, guys. This is actual facts. I'm not going to even tell you none unless I know for sure what I'm talking about. And if I don't, I'll say this is just my thought and my feeling on it. So let me see. This thing moving too fast. Hold on a second. All right. So what drove the motility response in the T cells was synthesis of hydrogen peroxide, which is condensed water, condensed oxygen. Y'all know that, right? Which then activated a signaling pathway that increases T cell movement. Hydrogen peroxide is a compound that white blood cells release when they sense an infection in order to kill bacteria and to call the T cells and other immune cells to mount an immediate response. So they automatically start attacking, just tearing it up, just getting it out of there. It's like, get your ass out of here right now, right now. So that blue light don't play, right? That's saying a lot about that blue light. We talked about that blue light, the blue flame energy, a lot last week on a couple of the streams. I'm not going to go over that too much more. If you're not familiar with it, you may catch a little more information, but you can go back and check on that. That is the blue flame energy. That is the Kundalini energy. That is the spine energy that helps with that osculation, promoting the healing in the body, right? All right, let's see. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't need to read much more of this. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, guys. And me and sis about to get in the conversation. Remove this. All right, sis. All right, we good to go now, boo. Now, just on anything we've been discussing, talking about, so on and so forth. Sis, did you have anything
Hmm.
you want to just chat on? Let's get it going.
Um, no, not really.
No.
I will have to like listen back. Like it was,
Okay.
yeah, it was a bit much for me. Like, oh, wait a minute, because most of it I heard for the first time. So I have to watch it
Okay.
again and listen.
Not a problem, babe. Not a problem. She said, "Slow down now, slow down. I got
Yeah,
to get this
hold up,
pulled up
yeah.
now."
So
So basically, on that, guys, we're gonna talk a bit about that again. So when we're thinking about the sun beaming this energy that hits the eye with a very, very highly concentrated energy, when it hits the eye, right, in the iris, it creates that hole. As I told you, that's clearing that barrier in the eye. And that's by the waveform of the condensed concentration of that energy from the sun to the eye. It's a direct source. It's an open portal to the third eye. We just talked about that, right? We talked about the third eye. We talked a little bit about the photic retinopathy. So when you're thinking about these things, and we're thinking about opening the portals to the third eye by that sun burning through the artificial barriers. Keeping in mind, guys, we're in an artificial simulated reality. Now, everything that I just read, I'm giving you the warnings for the physical capacity of what's put out there on the information, right? But from my standpoint, when we think about opening that portal and uh, tearing down the veil, when you hear these certain expressions, this is kind of what I feel is speaking about. Because when you're opening that veil and you're burning through that artificial barrier, because it is an artificial barrier, right? When you're burning through the artificial barrier in the iris, that block of the true light that's created, and there's a hole in that eye that you can actually spiritually be enlightened by because it burns the portal through, right?
hmm,
Then what happens? The eye is not it's not designed to really look at physical things that the way that we are looking at them. We are being forced into a particular vision. So we need more stimulus to our other senses, like our nose, our ears, all the other parts of the NT and the senses that are absorbing of information. The eyes, right? This is one of the worst weapons that is used and formed against me. It says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, right? But when the eye, the one of the most permanent organs that gives us information to our brain, when it's affected, of course, it's formed against me and it's prospering to create simulations, to create waveform, to create realities that aren't really what we want to be a part of. It's forming us and it's encasing us into a realm outside of the spiritual realm that we're actually all connected to, right?
yes.
So, like I said, the eye is not designed to look at all these physical things as we're looking at. That's why we're able to be manipulated by them. So, what we need to make sure we're doing is forcing ourselves into a spiritual vision,
Hmm.
opening up that third eye, seeing clearly, being able to expand our minds and thoughts. When the hole in your eye is created, your entire vision evolves, guys. It literally evolves. You are granted literally a new vision. You're
Yes.
not only seeing from the physical standpoint, you're seeing from a mental, spiritual connection, and your soul is open to more or privy to more of the things that are natural and organic because you're more in tune to nature at this time.
You're
When
gonna
this
be able.
happens, oh, go ahead, sis.
You're gonna be able to see sift through the bullshit. Like your eyes, like if you're thinking, if your mindset is different, you're gonna see what's in your mind and not what they're showing you.
That's right. That's what happens. Sis is exactly right because right then, what happens when you create and basically, I would say you're granted. I would say you're blessed with this vision, a pure vision in your eyes. You start seeing things different. You'll see auras. You'll start seeing orbs. You'll see different colors, colors that you've never seen before. Seriously, you'll see more things that are not seen in your regular eyesight. This is where we get that the eye of life. Excuse me, guys. This is where you get the eye of light. That's why I was talking to you guys about that, the eye, and it being that all-seeing eye, because it's the all-seeing. It sees not only the physical vision, but it starts to see the entire vision, everything that we are supposed to be privy to, right? The eyesight becomes more fluid. It becomes more aware of the silent energy. There's silent energy out there. We're not able to pick up on it and perceive it because our vision's being blocked and we're not able to see certain colors. We're not able to feel certain auras that are around us because we're not connected to what's natural the way that we should be. So seeing to the core of the photonic energy is better perception of things, people's emotions. You'll be able to connect more with your loved ones, other people. You'll be able to read other people's auras. This whole actually leads a person to a
Mhm.
different state of omnipresence. I spoke about that earlier when we were talking about that eye, the omnipresent. The one they're talking about, it's not the all-seeing eye of the false ascension, but the correct, perfect, omnipresent all-seeing eye and vision, right? The field of true light that can be conceived and make you able to merge and blend these realities and see the difference, be able to decipher and know the difference between the two, be able to bridge the gap of the suggested realm, and this physical realm. When the hole is broken, so that your brain can now, it'll start to perceive information from the sun. It'll actually be more perceptive to the information and the light codes that the sun actually awakens and opens in the cells that are within you, right? This will happen.
But say,
And
oh,
yes, go ahead, sis.
you have to talk about the false light also because I I think this is a false sun. It's not a real sun. So
Yes,
when you're talking about receiving information, you have to be able to distinguish the false light from the true light.
that is true, sis. But
Mhm.
the thing is, they're trying to put the barrier up of the false light, keeping in mind that the real sun is still behind it. And then when you're open to this, right, you're going to be able to see that real sun. It's no, but I see it all the time. It's there. And what happens is, even when a person starts to perceive and they're not able to see the real sun because they're sun gazing, sis, and they're starting to open these fluctuations in their mind, they're going to receive the energy, and the energy is what's going to help them to purify that barrier and be able to allow them to start to see, the real reality. It starts
Okay.
to bridge that gap, in between what's false and what's real. Then they'll be like, whoa, they'll start seeing. That's why I said, for some people, it's a little scary, when it happens because you really have a whole new vision. It's crazy.
Yes. And are you going to share some pictures because I made some, took some pictures outside.
Sure. You want to do the share screen, boo? You putting it up? Let me know when you're putting it up.
Okay, let me find them.
And while sis pulling that up, I'm gonna say this real quick, guys. So just keeping that in mind, bridging that gap, is something that's important. What it'll do is it's gonna break down some of these barriers where you're feeling like you're trapped in this physical realm and everything. You can get through that, right? When you do this will allow the brain to start to perceive the information, as I said, from the sun until that bridges gap, and you'll be able to see the total vision and everything at that time. You'll be able to cross. Um, your or basically emerge the reality that you are in now and being able to manage it. You'll be more capable of receiving the downloads and the light codes, as I said, from the sun. This is going to actually activate the codes within us, the light coding, the binary coding that's in the body system. And this will start to actually open that third eye for you, breaking down that barrier, burning it down. You'll be able to see the true solar system and not the formulated created simulation that's out there. You'll see other things, and you'll start to get your powers. We literally have powers that you're not aware of because you're not open to them, because you're so trapped into this realm. Then your brain will start to open up other areas, and you'll be able to receive all types of information from other sources as well. Your DNA coding, mother cells that have come down from your mother's side, your dad's side, all the ancestors. You'll know things that you never knew before. You'll start to open up your pituitary gland and be more telepathic. You'll start to perceive information and see, like, man, I'm getting along with my family. I'm getting along with everybody. I just feel so good all the time. This is because now the informational coding has allowed you to be more open minded, and you'll be more loving, and your spirit is actually different at this time. This actually bridges the gap of that infinite and the present existence, bridging that gap into your brain. concluding at this time that you can then turn your gaze inwardly. This is what'll happen. This is another thing that's very important. Once you open that window, right, and that portal is broken down, you will then be able to turn your gaze internally to look inside of yourself. This might sound crazy as hell, but I promise you, I'm telling you, you guys, I say a lot of stuff. I don't say certain things, and sometimes I don't want to say stuff because I know people look at some information as crazy, pseudo, or whatever the case may be. Hey, but I'm just telling you guys factual stuff that's very very important, right? Because once you do this, like I said, and you can start to look at yourself, it's going to help you to be able to observe yourself on the inside, strengthening that eye muscle and fixing the gaze to trigger portals into the higher conscious area, elevating you and ascending you to a different realm. And actually triggering you to these higher conscious states in the brain. It's triggering the conscious in the brain to open up. Okay, and this is in order to obtain this proper true vision, the real vision, the proper organic uh, is that all seeing eye that we talk about, but you being able to use it and control it, right? Use it for its intuition. You might start getting like your ears start twitching. You know how you like, oh, you're rubbing your ears like it's itching, your ears ringing, all this stuff. This starts to happen during this time. So just keeping in mind, guys, this is the process, and we'll talk more about it. But right now, we're going to have a little more of an open discussion. We'll be talking about a few more things. But sis wants to show some pictures, and we're going to go from there. Go ahead, sis. Elaborate. It's coming up. Is it coming, sis? Let's see. It's saying add, sis, but it has you on there, but it's not showing. Give you a minute to get it together.
I'm muted.
Oh, so you can't unmute the guest. Oh, I'm sorry, sis.
Yeah.
Oh, I was unmuting it because I thought it was doing something, and it said you can't unmute it. Excuse me. Okay, go ahead, sis.
uh, do I? Oh, I have to hit play, I guess. No. Why isn't it playing? I don't know. It's a short clip, but why isn't it playing? Or do you have to hit play? I don't know. Is it playing? What's that? Sis.
Oh, it was playing, sis. Let me see. I was trying to unmute it. It's telling me not to unmute it, but I think it's playing now.
Oh, damn it. Okay, now do I have to hit play again? Why isn't it? Oh, I don't know. I don't
It's
know
showing,
how.
sis. You can't see it. It's showing. It's on the screen. It's sharing.
Yeah, but it's not playing. I see only one, like, still, I don't know. I wanted to show the clouds and
Hold on,
the,
sis. I'm gonna remove it and put it back and see if that
yeah,
helps. Oh, maybe let me do. I'm gonna do the single layout, and maybe that'll help. Let's see.
hmm,
All right, I'm putting it back now, sis. See what happens.
yeah. Oh, it's gone. I'll have to share it again. Um, wait, wait a minute. Now my computer froze. Damn it. I think it's playing, but it's showing like it was yesterday. It was real cloudy. Um, and the clouds were moving at first, and I was staring at the clouds, and it was like hypnotizing me a little. Like I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
showing.
yeah, and you can see the sun behind the clouds.
Right.
Yeah, and they were moving, and it looked like they were hanging really low, and it looked like they were like they're moving, and I'm staring at it, and it's like hypnotizing me. Like
Wow.
it's weird. I don't know, but it looked like all artificial clouds, like you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's that terraforming. The
Yeah.
terraform clouds. They're creating the fake clouds, all of this stuff, and creating the fake blue sky, the clear blue sky, that fake ass blue shit. The dark clouds would be like four different color clouds, which we know is just like fake. It's just all fake. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no, that's all. I didn't make a. I took some pictures of it,
Yeah, I
but
was just looking to see if I wanted to show a couple real quick. These crazy pictures I be having, but I want to, let me see. Maybe I'll show a couple since you showed the
okay.
floor. Let's see. Close this out. Got too much stuff open. Knowing this computer act crazy as hell.
Oh, maybe that's why it's so because on my screen it's not
Mhm.
moving at all. Like
It's not,
yeah, that's how I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening?
but I got your thing. I took mine off. I took my screen share off. I don't know why it's doing this. Sis.
I don't know.
Yeah, I took my screen share off.
Hmm.
Okay, let me see.
It's moving, but it's moving really slow.
Oh, it's moving slow.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
Slow motion, baby.
Never mind the background. My daughter is watching cartoons. Oh,
Saturday morning cartoons.
no, not morning. Like, the time
Oh,
they.
right, it's afternoon. Now it's the evening there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. She watches cartoon every day, the whole day. So yeah, if you're ready to share yours, you can remove mine. Um,
Okay. Let's see. One second, sis. I'm trying to find this
oh
album
yes.
real quick. I can get back over there. Man, it's sleeping under the AC. Mm-mm. It's horrible. I swear, since I've been up here, I had bad sinuses already because my issue. Then this
Mm,
AC every night, breathing this stuff in. Man, I'm just not feeling none of this.
yeah.
So annoying, man. Let me see. Close this out. Let me close some of this stuff out. Okay. Da-da-da. Or do I want to just talk? Yeah, I don't even want to share a screen. Yeah,
You
I
know
was just
what?
thinking, did I want to just do this and then yeah, let me got a couple things I'm gonna do today. So
Okay.
talking about this stuff, I was talking about the portals, right? So we got to think about you guys. You could look on my page if y'all interested in seeing any of these portals. We talk about the sun and moon portals all the time. I show y'all pics all the time. If a person don't see this for themselves, and I'm giving you like literally the physical visuals. There's not much more I can do. I've done all I can do my part. But when it comes to our body, it is a portal that the energy intercepts, and that's that all seeing, as we were talking about with the physical being. But our soul intercepts that, and it can block it with the starlight spirit that is important in keeping us strong. And that's by building that with the meditation, the sun gazing, building up everything that we were just talking about as far as like your T cells, making them stronger, being able to oscillate and stand strong against certain forces and impurities. And when it comes to these different things, that would include like parasites and all these parasitic things actually control or contain entities that can actually take over the body and start to terraform the body. This is how
Mm-hmm.
people are possessed or, whatever the case may be. This is just from these certain entities taking over in the weak areas of your body because you haven't built it up strong enough and it's not able to attack these things when it comes into the body.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, there is a war within within our physical body, and the physical body is having a war with our spirit.
Yeah.
The war is in our members, and we wrestle with flesh and principalities of this world, which would be all of the atrocities that go against the actual chemical makeup of our body, the actual physical structure of our body, the physical, um, disabilities that come upon our body and capabilities from health and different issues. All of these are from the decomposition of these things attacking the body. So the T cells, when they're strong, they can stop that. They help to fight against this thing. People were joking about Trump when he was talking about some antibacterial. I can't remember the stupid statement, but this is what he was talking about. He was saying how the body has the ability to fight these things. He was being ignorant as usual, didn't clarify, but that was true. When you're thinking about this body in our this particular this vax that they say we need or whatever the case may be when our body is normally built to fight these things off, especially when it's strong, when it's proper, keeping your immune system up, you're able to fight these things off naturally. Literally, the spiritual war of your light body says, get the heck out of here, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So Christ was actually, what do you call it? The conscious spirit. Let's say that when people think about Christ, Jesus Christ, this Bible spirit thing, it's talking about the conscious spirit. That's what Christ is, guys. Christ is the conscious spirit that's in you. You know that core that's down and that holds you and gives you energy, gives you strength, fortifies your mind, body, and soul.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to save us from the physical world by becoming, a physical being and taking us more into the spiritual conscious being. It shows us how to escape the world by becoming Christ light, not Christ like they tell you. Become Christ like, Like. You need to
Christ
become
light.
Christ light. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
say
Yes,
that part. The
that part.
Christ light spirit. That's what we're igniting. That's what we're trying to initiate within our spirit. So we're able to ascend past these physical complications and be able to fight them in the spirit, right? If you're fighting them in the spirit and in the light, you're going to win. There ain't no battle against that, period. You better know it. In the
Yeah.
mind, body, and the spirit, they go back to the natural starlight spirit state because it becomes strong. It's able to be pertinent and standing strong against these things, battling it. We just read about the T cells. I read this for you to understand that when there's something that is improper in your body, these proper cells, when they're functioning correctly, they start attacking it. It's immediate. It's like shit. Let's get to it. Bam. You know. So we're
Mm-hmm.
spellbinding, and this spellbinding has caused us to believe that the Christ is a physical man with the Bible stories. There's the misconstruction so that we stay trapped. We stay trapped in the physical and we never see the true light, the
Mm.
true light, the true light energy. So we come into the light of the most high spirit. When they say the most high spirit is what you've elevated and ascended and reached in the level of your brain's hemisphere. That's the most high spirit that connects to us and to the one true source where we're all connected through the ether, through the water. We talk about the waters and things. This is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Big Philly, what's up, Big Philly?
Peace.
And
Philly.
yes. So when we're thinking about these things, guys, we got to be very, very careful. Since I know how you feel about the light and stuff too. Did you want to say something about that?
About the water?
Yeah, about the water, the spirit, the frequency, anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've been talking about soul and spirit this whole time. I think I told you earlier, like, man, I didn't even connect, like, because I always say the soul is the water, the spirit is the fire, and they go together. Um, and then and you're talking about water, and I never made the connection, like, I don't know why, but you know, but the energy flow, the wave, like everything we say, every term, every whatever you want to call it, has to do with water. The mothership, the Merkaba.
Yes.
You hear it, the mermaid,
Yes.
Merkaba. So everything has to do with soul, spirit, and body. The whole that's for me is that is the Holy Trinity. Not
That's
Father,
it.
Mother, Son. No, it's spirit, soul, and body. That
Yes, sis.
yes,
Mind, body, and soul is
yes.
the true Trinity.
It's the
And
whole.
and in order for a person to understand and see and be able to be receptive to the true Trinity, they have to be unveiled in their mind to actually see it with that third eye, which is the real all-seeing eye, not the omnipresent, fake simulated all-seeing eye that they put people in the mindset of, right?
Hmm. And it's not even like people think literally it's the pineal gland, or maybe it is, but for me, it's how I feel things. I hear with my eyes, I
Yes.
feel with my eyes.
Yes.
Everything is with like, or not even with my eye. Let me say I feel, because the most important how do you say that? Damn it, I lost it. But the for me, everything is about feeling, emotions, energy, and motion. So when when I ask you, do you feel me, sis? You feel me?
Yes. Yes. I feel you. I feel you, boo. I feel you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So like everything is free. When I see someone,
Hmm.
I don't automatically see their aura, but I can feel their energy. Like, okay, this is a genuine person, or this, they coming with good
That's
spirit.
right.
So even in the chat, like I'm way overseas. When somebody comes in my chat, I can feel their aura immediately.
Mm.
I can pick it up, like I don't know how, but so yeah, like especially like we us women, we feel things. So it's the energy, it's the it has to resonate with us in
Yes.
order to understand.
Yes. 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 And
Mm,
that is that, all on the sense of the waters, and that energy, the frequency flow, the high power energy, you know, um,
mm,
when we thinking about that, how they'll be like, oh, the glory of God, because Jesus suffered for me, and they'll say all this stuff. That's because we share in that glory. We actually share in the glory of the God which is inside us, if they want to perceive it as a God,
God
because
part.
we have suffered with Him. You know how they say, oh, Jesus came here and He said we suffer. We're doing that, and we're suffering
Yes.
in the flesh. Once we're born into the flesh, that is the suffering.
No, and it's not even suffering, because we sacrifice our body by having children. We could die having labor, by
That's the
doing
suffering,
labor.
sis.
That's
By
the
bringing
sacrifice.
bringing more life, sis. The
Yes.
sacrifice is suffering, babe, and it's bringing that suffering into you. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we suffer the world by bringing in that life. So that's a sacrifice, as you said. That's bringing that life in, and we brought that life, or ushered that life in, to suffer in the flesh. Once that life left the spirit and came out of the being the living word, it came into the living flesh. Now it suffers in the flesh because it is of the physical. You know what I'm saying?
Because they say in the beginning there was just like the great void, and
Hmm.
the word was whatever. How do they say it? The word is the spirit, because it's something you utter. It's like a sound. It's the spirit. It's the wave. It's the energy. No, not the wave.
Hmm.
The energy, the
Hmm.
fire. So, and then the void is like the soul. So the soul was there first, then came the spirit, because it was darkness first, then came the light, and then the darkness swallows the like eats it, the eater. It eats it
Yes.
up literally. That's why
Yes.
they say the eater. So it
Yes.
eats it up.
Be- because when we in our spirit, I mean, when we're not our physical, we're
Yeah.
away from the spirit, and with the spirit, I serve the fleshly desires with my physical. So with my mind, I serve the flesh, but I need to come away from the flesh so that I can be enveloped by the true light, because the flesh is the false light, it's the fake ascension, assimilation. I need
Yes.
to be enveloped by the true light. This true light
Mhm.
is what separates us from the true source, and the
Yes.
will of the most high source, that one enmity, the omnipresent, whatever, that's the real light, the blue flame, right? And the love of that blue flame energy that ignites the gas of protection around me, so that I know that what I am, that I am, that I am, that I am connected to the source, that my brother and my sister that's connected to that true source is also a part of me. And we are the same. We are as one. I am just the same as this. And, we all have the same energy we're sharing, because it's really only one true energy. There are many, many, many other energies that are natural and really for us beneficially, but there's the one true energy that we all share. But
Yes.
what's happening, we're not operating in that spirit and doing things um in that effervescence, basically.
And
So
that's why
we have to let that spirit take the wheel and start to guide us, to steer us, because that particular spirit has the most that it can give, the validity, I guess, or the license to drive. I'm gonna give you the license to drive this vehicle right here, because this
you said
vehicle
it.
is a simulation, right, sis?
You said it. The wheel is the will.
Yes,
Your will is your character, it's your car, it's the spirit, because you will everything into manifestation with your
yeah,
spirit.
that's
Once
right.
you give up, once you don't want anymore, I don't want anything, the magic wand. Once you don't want anything like that, then that's when it ends. Then the spirit can leave the body, because you don't want for
I
nothing.
don't need anything here.
I
What am I
don't
here
need.
for? What
Yep.
what do I need any of this for? Right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
giving
that's
it
why
that
they say
validity.
yes.
Oh, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
No, and that's why they say like we are all connected, but it's the spirit, the light, the false light that connects us, because
Yeah,
we fell into flesh, we fell into skin. We didn't fall into sin, we fell into skin. So we got a body now. So and now
that's
we keep
right.
this body healthy, because we're all trapped or caught up in this reality. Like, like I want to live. But our ancestors really wanted to die. Dying is living. Go back to the darkness.
Back to the dark.
Back to the dark.
If you
So,
could be, if you can be in the darkness, right, and you can see within the darkness, right?
mhm.
That means you're having like that vision that can see anything. If you can see in the dark, then shit, what you think you're gonna see in the light, right?
Yep. Like it's like that's why I always say like they made us afraid of the dark, but the dark, like when the light came, now we got eyes. Now we see that we're ugly, and now we want to be pretty. But in the darkness, no one has to be pretty, because you don't see shit, right?
Right. And it don't matter. That should be telling me too.
No
That
matter.
pretty shit, this and that shit. Do it matter?
You
Do it
don't see
matter? This
eyes.
some physical shit that's helping to keep your dumb ass messed up.
Yeah, we become idol. Like I want to be pretty. I want to be like Beyonce, or
Mm-hmm.
look like her. But once you're in the darkness, you don't need no eyes. So that's why they say the soul is really a monster.
Hmm. A monster.
A monster. Monstar. Moonstar. You can get it, sis.
All right, sis, no problem. So when it comes to that, boo, let's talk about that frequency, right? You know how we was talking about this earlier this week, so I'm gonna just mention, since we was talking about that frequency, the high power energy. So with them having the manipulation, so on and so forth. So thinking about that. in the electromagnetism of the solar system supposedly, and everything that's going on with that. They use that to manipulate us, using that with the star when they started everything with the Corona satellite program back in the early 1950s, right?
Mm.
And having that information that there was a Corona satellite program that launched everything, and that particular film and everything that they used with the chems that they use, certain particles that they use to have that ability to see supposedly satellite filming. You know, they work with General Electric, they work with Eastman Kodak Company, um, Procter and Gamble, I believe, as well. So all of them coincide together with the governmental agencies, and then starting that program to so-called set the all-seeing eye, which was the launching of the first satellite, and they rushed to do it because before Russia and all them could do it. So it was a big old thing. So with that, I was thinking about that all seeing eye, and including that connected one. Like I was saying, remember since we were talking about how when they came out with these particular phones and stuff, and they had the nano robot bugs and things, we didn't know about them. We weren't aware of it. They had them in these phones. People was having them because people was buying them. Didn't know. By this time, shit, they done went in how many damn people ears? Who knows? You know.
Mm-hmm.
And being that those android little nanoparticle bugs, they duplicate, they multiply, they, whatever. So if a person have a child and that being a part of your DNA structure, that may be in your child automatically, even if they weren't a part of that era. That's something to think about as well, being on a certain frequency code when it comes to these so-called viruses and all that nonsense that they create and shit, right?
Mm.
Um,
So,
include. Oh, go ahead, sis.
so do you think like okay because you were talking about it last night too on your stream, like is it I guess, but it depends on where you're born, certain ley lines, areas,
Yes,
places. Yeah, okay, I got you.
yes, sis, yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
And so with that, all the frequency things. So we talking about all the things. I mean, it's so many things to talk about. We're doing on our next bill when we talking about some of this stuff with the energy and frequency. Says we'll do energy frequency and get more and more depth into it. I don't want to burn nobody's ears out. Talking
yeah.
about the people. Some people be like, dang, really this and that. Then they want to look up stuff, so it become too much, and I don't want to be overwhelmed.
No,
But
because you know
the
so much about it. Like you can go into details about the ions and the atoms but me, it's for me, it's just like I go with the flow with how I feel, and then I can say something. But you can go into details. That's why I asked. Yeah.
yeah, no problem, sis. So with the frequency, we could talk about that sound thing. Remember we was talking about so dang, I would love to pull up some words again, sis. I don't know if you want to share. Remember that day we pulled up like some of the older songs, and because I was saying how I know how a lot of stuff that kept me woke as a kid, my mom used to play these
Mm,
songs and I used to listen intently, to what they were saying, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So in my imagination I was exploring my mind, listening to these songs and
mm.
knowing and connected to the things they were talking about. Remember that day we pulled up a lot of the words and we was like, dang, y'all was like, this is crazy, some of the words and the stuff. We could do a
Yes.
little bit of that. I would like to do that in a second. You know why?
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about 440 real quick,
About
right?
what?
440, the
Oh,
the hertz,
yeah,
the
yeah. Okay.
frequency that they got us on when we're
Yes.
supposed to be on the 432, right?
Yes.
So, with that, taking us off of the harmonical frequency, with they put the manipulation in the air, the water. We done talked about this: the air, the water, the food, the this, the that, the da da da. We also talk about the ENT, the wave formatting, which is the same thing. So let's talk about how they wave formatted a big construction over the entire universe with the frequency wave going against the Earth natural frequency tone of 432 hertz. Is the frequency tone same frequency tone that we resonate off of, right? So it's a universal vibrational energy that all of nature is in tune with, right? That's 432, right, sis? Have you ever pulled that up, sis?
No, no,
Or
no.
looked at that? Did you want to? I don't know if you want to share. If you want to, you could pull it up to look at it yourself, or just so other people can see it, or they can just pull it up themselves if you want to keep going. But the 432 is a natural harmonical universal frequency of the earth
Yes.
vibration, and it's the same frequency that we need to have balance and creating harmony in our body. It actually can
Oh,
promote healing.
and can I add
Yeah.
anything? Anything under 432, is it megahertz or whatever hertz? Anything under that is it's ghosts.
Mm.
Yep. Anything under that is like a lower frequency, so it's they don't have a body. Only for 432 involves material, matter. Yeah.
So don't go to 431 or 430. Basically, is what sis is telling you.
Hmm.
Definitely just the 432. It's a perfect natural harmony.
Yeah, the Earth's, how do you say that? Frequency is 432, and
Yes.
anything below that is goes non-material. Yeah,
Non-material.
yeah.
Improper matter. And
Hmm.
just on that real quick, it's improper matter. So think about a frequency. If it's not proper, if it's not organic to your body or the earth or nature, 432, which is what you're running off of, right? Anything that's on a different frequency code, shit, like she said, low, high, shit, anything that go over or under, it's wrong. Shit, period. It's wrong. If it's not at 432, it's not beneficial to your body. If it's not at 432, it's evil, either harmful, neglectful, or going against your body, right? So this is important to remember, guys. Sometimes I'll just play meditative music to just, while I'm cleaning or I'm doing something else, just so I can do certain healings with vibrational frequency tones in my body as well. When I'm doing other things, whenever I have the time to, I also play it for my plants. It helps with promote and it promotes healthy growth and things of that nature.
Oh,
So
and
go
one
ahead,
more,
sir.
one more thing. Um, like everybody, okay, we don't even listen to CDs anymore. Everybody has everything on a USB stick or whatever, hard drive but in the old days we had records like vinyl.
Hmm.
They were black,
That's right.
and they were made from um, what is it? Oil, I think.
It was, I don't know, sis. It was some it's, I know it's carbon and something else. I
Yeah,
know it's carbon that connects to us. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And the needle was some crystal or even diamond,
Yep.
right?
Diamond crystal. Hmm.
Yes. So the sound that we were getting from Motown or whatever was pure, was 432.
Yes. It
So
had no choice because it was a natural material.
yes. So nowadays they're making record players again, but I think they're fake. Like the needle
Yeah.
is a crystal anymore, so it's another sound. So even if you're like, okay, now I'm gonna play my old records, but you get a new turntable,
Hmm.
the sound will still be off. I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
I wonder. Then you gonna make me want to go buy one, sis, just to see. Cause
Yeah, I want to
I
buy
have
one too.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of old. I got a lot of older. The what do you call it? Not the 45s, the big ones, the some collectibles, and
Yeah.
they, you know what I'm talking about. Not the 45, but the big
Yeah.
album.
But sis, I want one with like a horn on it. That's those old, no, a couple
Right.
horns.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh, sis.
god.
Yes, I would love to have that. I would just wind it, wind it, wind it. Yes.
Man.
I
Mm.
sure said that, sis. I looked one up before. Them shits is expensive as hell on some real junk. I literally looked one up. It's funny you said that. I found one like 1,200. It was an antique one. It was really nice though. It was worth the 1,200, but I just didn't want to spend it at the time. But yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you have your old finals, and then you have an old turntable, man, play it. Don't use the,
Go to the secondhand store and get one of the old ones.
yes,
They be having them there. Oh, I might do that, sis. Now that we mentioning that.
yes,
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna go to the secondhand store and look around and see if they got an old turntable. They
and then
might even have one.
you'll hear the difference in sound because
Hmm.
um
Definitely.
yeah, because
Because that crystal in it.
yeah, because all those hi-fi systems that are that, from now, they you can still try to mess with them with the equalizer and the whatever, how do you say that, the panel, but you will never get it for 32 because they messed with it. So it's always that high pitch that like it's the 440 or 444 or whatever.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
unless you got one from your old ancestors or something.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, no, but that's what I wanted to mention. Like the old sound was that was the sound, but nowadays it's just another frequency, and that's why we're all fucked up in the head. Like
But see, that's because it's on the turntable, and I'm gonna touch on that since you brought it up. That's
Okay.
because it's on the turntable, right? So the turntable is the sound, those sound boxes is that have all the stuff on. They have the piano sound, this, that, yeah, that, that. Like the old keyboards we used to have when we was younger. The keyboards, they had a big the technical ones, right? And so they have all these sounds in them, but they all the fake sounds. So remember back then, like you said, they didn't have all that. When they made music, they were literally in the studio using these instruments and they made the music. So everything we heard was natural and it was pure. And the reason was it was absorbed so good and the music sounds so good and it connected to us. It was like you said, because of the record itself being that carbon and us being a carbon being, ether being, we connected to that because we could actually feel it. That's why so you hear that music, man, you feel it in your body, you just start moving and because it's a spell that starts going over your body, not like a nothing necessarily bad, but it literally is just that influence of like a spell binding to your body because it literally just automatically connects. And the same thing, like you said, with the needle, so on and so forth. So now when they use them turntables and stuff, sis, there's no need to have live bands or this and that to come do the music. Even some of these bands, I done seen drums. They got electric drums, sis. I was somewhere and I was like,
Yes.
I said, that's a drum. I'm like, how the hell you got an electric drum? Says the shit is real out here. They got shit so turned around and twisted. Yeah, that 440 is a big thing. I talk about it not that much, but enough for people to really look at that. This music is an important part of the decrystallization of your molecular structure, literally.
And I think that even messing with the mics now, like even if you set everything up to play 432, you still
Yeah.
have to watch, like when you do a live, like okay, what's my mic, like what sounds going,
hmm
man.
It's crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
with that, when they turned it now to the 440, it's what it is it put all the sound frequency, right? Like you just said, everything is everything, everything. Like I said, they're not in the studios using these organic instruments. And mind you, let's touch on that real quick. All the organic instruments were all natural chords as well. String music, all the guitars and all this stuff. Those are natural elements, and this is why they connect to us because it's string music. So that frequency code, just like you were talking about with the record or what have you. These particular things, the drum. We talked about this before too. Says with the skin of the real drum, and then the
Yes.
wood and the sound. All these things being natural, they all connect to us with the same agapic energy, which is a natural energy or organic energy. So this energy, we connect to it, it's able to reach and connect to you. And because it's a part of you, it actually formulates and constructs in that earth. Remember you put the little amulet up, sis? What I was trying to talk about the earth's freak the damn.
The what?
Remember we was talking about I was talking about the original the organic infinite geometrical pattern, and then I was talking
Oh
about it. Then you
yes,
said,
yes.
"Oh, let me show you." You pulled it right up. I want you to pull it up so people could know what I'm talking about because sometimes I forget proper names for stuff and I
Oh my.
might not be saying it right.
Oh, let me get it. One moment.
Okay. All right. So yeah, sis don't grab that, y'all. So basically with that, right, it's a natural organic pattern. There's a life pattern literally for everything. Everything that's constructed because everything that is a physical matter, the matter that's constructed from is the atoms. And the atoms actually what they do, the molecules construct, they start to build. They immediately build and construct themselves. They're self duplicating and replicating. So this is how material is formed, right? So with this life pattern, I'm wait till sis pull it up. She said she was grabbed it. Hate to have her run to get some. I thought it was right there with her, y'all, but hold on a second. Trying to think what else I want to talk about. But before I get into that, I want to go in somewhere else. I want y'all to see what I'm saying. Da-da-da. So there's just a code, there's certain codes in our body. I can touch on that real quick so she'll show y'all what I'm talking about. But there are codings in our body, right, with our cell structure. Every cell has a certain molecular form and format and duty and job. you know. There are different cells, like we were talking about the T cells. Those are the ones that fight different diseases and things within your body. Um, you have to be careful there. If there's an imbalance of the proper white or red blood cells in your body, you can get sick from that. So anything that's not at the proper balance is going to cause an illness. It's going to cause a sickness. So when you're having something going on in the construction or the deconstruction of your cellular or your chemical makeup, the infinity code of natural life molecular structure, this particular structure is interrupted or interceded by some other stuff that's been put out there. This is what's going to change it. This is why it's important to understand why the 440 makes changes due to that. There it is. So this pattern that sis is showing, okay? Yes, that's not nice. That pattern is a natural, universal pattern of life, of anything that has life. Anything that has life in it, it has this particular pattern that forms the molecular structure of it, right? Now, this is what happens with this, keeping in mind at the look of that. So when we're looking at that, right, that stone, as you see each little circle, there's a frequency or an energy that keeps it at that particular form. Because, like I said, cells and things, molecules, they actually self replicate. When they form, it's formed the perfect pattern. So it just keeps that pattern. When something comes and intercedes or interrupts that pattern in that life structure, right? It could be a very small thing. Imagine one of those holes anywhere on this emulet, right, has a black hole in it. It's just all blackened out and darkened out. That could be the break of the cellular structure to transform it actually into something totally different from what it is supposed to be. So if it's not the natural form and something is blocking it, it's not going to be able to function. It's not going to be able to grow. It's not going to be able to have the density it needs to be at to have the structure of the natural earth frequency, right? Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. So when it comes to that, right, as I said, with the harmonious frequency. Did you want to say something about it either, sis? The pattern.
No, no, no. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to that, I want y'all to see that code so you know what I'm saying. So, like I said, so any of that, say that you see the pattern, right? Now that pattern is in every cell in your body, and you got trillions and trillions of cells in your entire body. So that pattern is in every cell. So imagine something coming into the structure of that, blocking it out, breaking some of those cells open because it may have caused a disruption in that area. It may just be causing the blockage. And if that happens in one cell, because everything is duplicated in the body, it's going to happen in another cell. So you're going to have a sickness and an illness immediately from that point. And this is how this comes to affect you in with your mental state when the structure happens that way. And once it starts to be a breakdown or decomposition in the cellular structure of your chemical makeup, it starts to make other things misfunction. So now you will have an improper balance in your mind. Your mind is thrown off. Your mind cannot formulate the true reality because it's seeing blockages of things that are misinterpreted because it's not performing at the right ability. It's having a glitch in the system, or there's a break in the reality, or there's some things that are going on so that you're not having a clear and concise thinking on that. With that, when the things that function your mind, and you have the conjunctions of things that connect to formulate your thinking and the wave patterns that are different in your brain, right? The amino acids that help these things to function correctly, they start to disappear because they're not properly being produced down in the area that gives you everything to nourish you. your gut. It takes the things that you put inside of your mouth. We're just talking about food, not the other things. We're talking about the air, the water, all of that. With the food, it takes those things, decomposes it. It takes the nutrients and it puts it in the areas it's supposed to. So the nutrients and the neutrinos that actually give the photonic energy to the brain to make it function correctly and to make all of the cells ignite, just like how they show you a computer and the wiring. That's how the wiring is in your brain. If you're having a misfunction, some of those wires are not working. So you're having shortages in your brain as well from some of these things that you've eaten because you have not put in the proper neutrinos and other things have taken place of it that are artificial. The GMOs, the inorganic things, all these, just all kind of things that you're putting in and eating you shouldn't be eating that you know aren't good for you. It actually forms a different crystallization in those cell in the cellular structure. Now your mind is running on a discord. All of your concise thinking is off. You're at a level of consonant dissonance. Look these things up. Your concise thinking and your consonant dissonance. Okay, the consonant dissonance is what actually makes your brain function when it comes to the thinking in your mind, the way that you speak with people, the way that you perceive things, the way that your mind regulates information and processes it to give you a thought on how to act on something. These things are very important in the way you run your day to day life, in your relationship, the way you deal with your kids, the way you deal with other people. Just by improper eating habits, you could be fucking I'm sorry, you could be really messing your thinking up just because you don't want to, eat properly and take care of your body correctly and treat it as the temple that it is, the vessel that is carrying something so important and as great and wonderful is a part of this life's energy cycle. So the shit crazy to me. People don't care about that.
I think Dark Chameleon, you're in the wrong chat because I don't know what like I don't know what he's talking about. Whatever.
I think he want to come up. He asked me to drop the link. I guess he don't know that we talking about something particular. He came in last night, was being a little rude and belligerent and, doing a whole lot. Just trying to have a simple build last night. So, I want to make sure we get through this without interrupting. If you still here when we done, bro, and you want to jump up, you got a word without, being rude or something, we could do that. So I don't mind you speaking your mind, but, just be respectful with it. That's all. So basically, when it comes to that, guys, when you're having these interruptions, you want to make sure that you're having the proper flow in your mind and you're able to deal with people and give them the fairness of giving them a clear mind, taking in meats that contain the adrenochrome, as I told you, that is the blood from a frightened, scared animal when it dies. Is absorbed into the meat. You're taking that in. It's an actual chemical. So when you're taking that into your brain, it actually starts to break down compounds in your mind as well, the neutrinos and things of that nature. So we got to be careful of that. Um, so when it comes to that, the harmonious tone, you have to just think that nature's harmonious frequency flow, the natural earth structure that Sis was showing you the compound of how that cell is actually structured and it causes the body to have the unsyncability basically with the brain. You're not in sync with your brain. You don't have the perfect harmony with your brain. There's an effect on the brain wave patterns. There's an effect on, I'm sorry about that. Excuse me, guys. There's an effect on brain wave patterns. So everything that I was just speaking about, right? You think about the structure and you think about the pattern that the sister talked about. These are the cellular structures in your brain that's formulated. So that the patterns that are in your brain in the cells, they start to become unsyncable with your body. And then you become unhealthy. You start having these breakdowns in your mind, body, and your soul. Some people have breakdowns physically and some people have mental breakdowns. They start having these symptoms of bipolar, schizophrenia, um, psychopathic. It can lead to a lot, just depending on each person's individuality. It depends on what they've taken in, what type of things they've allowed to come into their body, depending on the trauma. We talked about this last night on the build, the PTSD, the trauma of the life trauma that is written on a person's soul, in their mind, and in their brain. The things, the vision of things, the sight that they've seen in traumatic events. that actually deconstructs formalization in the cellular structure of people. So they have to work harder at purifying themselves and getting back to the proper balance. So this also leads to a lot of people having antisocial behavior. People don't even know how to deal with people. That's why it's a lot of these YouTube beats and people acting ignorant shit. They just don't know how to control themselves. They can't help it. I have some sympathy. I get frustrated and have to put them in their place sometimes. But sometimes people just can't help it. It's a lot of antisocial behavior in the conscious community. And this is all of coming from a lot of us, just be by being human. It causes all these, like I said, the consonant dissonance issues, disharmony. It actually causes mathematical disharmony in the brain, mathematical disunity, deconstruction of cells. It's not formulating correctly. You need a formulation to be correct. So if it's something going on, a deconstruction of the cell, there's a deformulation of that. So it's a deconstruction of the mind that causes a disruption in the synergy.
But
The
I
synergy. Synergy. I didn't say energy. Keep it in mind, causing disruptions in synergy. Please look that word up so you can see the importance and the pertinence of that. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say it's like, but ultimately it's a choice. Like it's a choice. One, if you let it in, if you let everyday life or your surroundings influence you in a bad way, you take on their like people's bad energy, their bad behavior. It's a choice whether you decide to engage in it or just let it go and let it flow how you want it, right? Because we said
Yes,
earlier, like if you have a trauma, and sometimes you said it's difficult to just get rid of the trauma, but like people's behavior, it's a choice
yes,
whether you decide. Like when I say
yes.
you can move me, I mean it. But if I let you move me, I'm gonna try to come back with an answer and debate or whatever to match your energy.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly, sis. Like how, people used to be, oh, sis, stop letting these people change you and that make you act a different way or affect you or, blah, 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 this, that. Okay, that's easy for you to say. It's not that easy for me at the time because sometimes I'll ignore people. And if it's a lot for me, that energy starts to build up. And now I'm going to take it, retract it, and throw it back at you. I cannot hold that. I'm not going to play with it. I don't want to be bothered with somebody giving me this energy that doesn't need to be there. So I'm not taking it and I'm gonna give it right back to your ass. Period. I
But
don't care
but
what
that
nobody thinks.
means yeah, but that means you have build up energy.
Yes, and that's what usually happens because most of the
Yes,
time I can deal with it, but there's times when it's because I have other energy going on, and then this
yes.
happens, and then it just boom, it just bursts, at that moment. But people have to
Like
understand, you can't put people in those positions and expect them to act in a way that you think is right or fair or, proper or whatever the case may be.
yeah, but that's why I said, like, you come home and you're already pissed off, and then you go on YouTube, decide to join the panel, and then like they say, my cup run it over because somebody can trigger you, and you'll just
Yes, sis. And that's because this and that going on, blah, blah, blah. Now you done caught me at the wrong time. Why you
yeah,
bothering me? Leave me that alone. But no, let me stop. But yeah, it be me, and I'll say that, I usually, you already know, sis, when I calm down, I usually apologize because regardless to whether the person was right, wrong, or whatever the case may be, that doesn't give me the right to explode on them, and be belligerent and stupid and ignorant or whatever, like I felt they were doing. But I do that, everybody has a weakness, so
yeah.
when I do that, a person can accept it, move on, and be done with it like I am, because I can care less about whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just the way that the person handles it and moves on beyond that point. You can't sit up. I can't hold on to what happened yesterday. Shit, I'm not in yesterday. I'm here. I'm
We're
in the
here.
now. Stop living in
Yeah.
the past. You got to deal with the present and the now. So what we doing right now? Forget what happened yesterday, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, a week ago. What are we doing now? That's
Yeah.
my plight. Let's move from here. Let's start making it, something better. If the flow wasn't right then, let's correct it now. Then. I mean, whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel that.
So, like, so having those disrupts of synergy, I was going to say that I spelled that out I want to remember. So when we think about synergy, so energy is a part of synergy. Synergy is like a part of like your inner peace that's being connected with the natural flow of energy. So synergy is a connection with that natural energy, right? That we're talking about. So we're getting away from the false energy, the fake, like the fake ascension of what we think is real, the
Hmm.
simulation, the physical. We're connecting to the synergy of like the omni essence of the pure
Is it
one source.
is it like, because when you say synergy, I hear sin.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but it can also be like synchronizing sin.
Yes, exactly, sis. So
Okay.
it's synergy. So we're syncing the energy. We're pulling the energies together, combining them, we're
Yeah.
making it one. I'm like we say, we like they were saying, they was talking about the be like water, not be like water, be water, be with the water. you know, be with
Hmm.
the energy, be the same thing. I'm syncing myself to this source. I'm syncing myself to the power. What the hell I want to be synced to some fake ass shit that I ain't assimilated, ain't the real thing. I want the original. I want to be synced with what's up.
Yeah.
Period. Right, sis?
Yeah.
So we think about that being connected to the flow of that energy. That's all within us, just like it's all within the universe. That's why everything is synced together. That's why they try to throw it off so that we're not synced with the universe. That gives us more universal omnipresence, and it gives us all that power of that energy, because now I'm not just dealing with the energy that's being lowered in frequency and being tapped into and used by sources of the physicality. I am a part of the powerful one. So now you can't penetrate me. And that's with the universe. We always talk about the universe, being with the universe and the nature in itself. Thinking about that, we think about the universe. I say it all the time. Universe. It's you. It's you. You. That's the symbol for frequency and energy. If you look it up, you. So the U, that's what generates electricity. Literally, it generates electricity, the U, right? We think about nine when we're thinking about the nine in universe. So the U, and it's a specific synonym, right? U generate electricity. Let's just say it with a brief description. So we're thinking about U that generates the electricity. The nine, which is the actual the water. It's the at-home water being settled. At-home water means it's at its place. It's at its right place. Its homing place. That's the water within you. The literal waters with you. The same waters that connect with everything else. The verse. What is a verse? You think about a verse, just automatically you're gonna think of something in sync, it's rhythm, it's flowing, whatever the case may be. What we think about verse is actually an area of activation. That's what a verse means. When you're singing or something in verse, you're activating that particular verse into a sanctimonious tune, or whatever the case may be, when you think of it like that, right? So that's you, nine, verse.
Hmm.
That's generating electricity at home in an area of activation. That's you. That's your cells penetrating. That's the T cells activating. That's everything within you that gives you the photonic energy to bring everything into the enlightening state and that Christos mind by accelerating that energy and oscillating the energy in the blood
Hmm.
and bringing that, to the surface, basically.
So, and I also hear a unique version of you. Universe, unique
Yeah.
version, because there's only one of you in this,
Yes.
at least in this reality.
That part. It's only one. Don't get caught up in the fake one.
Yeah,
Playing the game with that mirror.
no double gangers.
No doppelgangers. Yes. So that's another reason, they use the music, guys. They use the frequency tones to mess with people's minds and keep them brainwashed. That's why these kids and everybody are praising all these so-called fake stars, the fake lights, the false ascended lights, these stars and rappers and all these people. Music is tuned to that 440 for that particular reason, because music that is tuned to the 432 hertz, it actually has a natural healing effect on the body. Did you know that? And on the mind, not just the body, but on the mind as well, by the
Yes,
same process of everything, guys. So
Yes.
this can be measured in laboratories. They've actually done like tests. They try to test everything, and they've actually seen the effect that it has on people by testing it, checking out the sound, playing certain music they could hear, so on and so forth. What it do? It actually, like, what do you call it? Like the lucidity, like just like when you're dreaming. The 432 it gives a very lucid, gives you that lucidity, and it gives you a feeling of being soothed. Like you know how like your mom will give you a hug and a kiss, and you're like, oh, you're just being held and loved, and you know all of that. That's what it literally does to you. And then what it does in the brain, like we were talking about the crystallization, it forms actually in the brain the wave pattern that it needs to, and what showed you guys that pattern, right? That's the natural correct pattern, right? So the 432, the sound waves and frequency code that it gives off, it actually creates that pattern. It creates it in water, and it creates it in like salt experiments. They've done it. You can look it up, 432 salt experiment, water experiment or something. You'll be able to see something like that for yourself. So it forms it in the brain, and the brainwave patterns are of the crystallized cells become rejuvenated, and they become healed, and they just start to formulate the correct matter patterns. Like I said, the atomic structure, the atoms, the matter, the physical ether, the matter of the physical structure actually starts to reformulate, recrystallize itself to the proper state, and it's rejuvenated just by listening to the music. You could just put it on in your house and play it all damn day. You'd be surprised. What's up, bro? Anything you want to say about that particular person, or just add in period that you want to say on your own, babe? Give me a break for a minute. My mouth dry. Let me get a drink.
Oh yeah. Peace, capital. I. Oh, it's Saturday. Are you at work? I don't know. But
Yeah, I could have dropped the link. I'm gonna wait to see if you want to add something else before we give anybody the opportunity to drop the link if they got a question or just want to chat or whatever. Sis, what else you want to say before I say my
no,
last
you
thing?
can go ahead. You can go ahead. Simon, like I have a few people in my chat, and then your
Oh,
chat. So
you trying to
yeah,
go back and forth?
yeah, I'm trying to go. Yeah, check on there.
So basically, guys, just keeping all these things in mind when I talk about these frequency, light codes, energy, all these type of things. We got to remember, there's like literally a lockdown on our frequency code with these things. They're locking it down with sound, with water, with energy frequencies. All these different things that affect us, taking us away from the physical, natural, atomic structure of nature, and pulling us into the 440, pulling us into GMO status, pulling us into nanoparticles that are actually formulating the same way. It's the false nanoparticles, actually, if you've heard about the construction of them, are the same as molecules in the body, the cellular structure. They're formulated at, everything they make, and they can't do shit without us. They even made them behind the structure of us, just like they made the computers behind the structure of us, blah, blah, blah. Damn, need us for every damn thing. But anyway, when it comes to that, yeah, it's affecting all of that. So we have to learn how to break these codes by eating properly, taking in the right information that we're looking at visually. We talked about the eyes. Um, Unlocking some of these codes by doing some sun gazing, by doing some, tree hugging, some nature walking. These things all help benefit you just by absorbing natural frequencies. When you're walking through nature, people say, "Oh, it's so relaxing when I go through nature." Yeah, it's literally healing your body. There's a natural frequency code that when you're in nature, you're pulling that in and you're absorbing that. And when it even comes to the smells that you're smelling, the tree, the grass, different flowers, different weeds that are purifying the air for certain things, so on and so forth. All this stuff is beneficial to the light code and to the body because it's the restructuring and putting it in the right harmonic crystallization within those cells. So this is so important. So with that, the codes and the frequencies that are in our physical body, they are being written on by these things, like rewriting us, rewriting our structure. We're being used as like players in the book by the manipulators that are in the false ascension. So this is why you have to be strong to be able to fight these things off and stay away from these things that actually weaken you even further. So this book is actually created by them just so we could stay in this lockdown code and be used, recycled, brought back here, da 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 da, using these different frequencies through freezing, a state of confusion, lies, spells, indoctrination, food, air, water, shit. I can go on. The list goes on and on. Our thoughts and words are literally vibrations. Be careful what you're speaking, what you're saying out your mouth, because just like you're absorbing this information, this stuff is the same way. Thoughts and words are vibrations, and we are all connected. Let me see. Somebody said something. All right, let me drop the link just in case you guys have anything to say while I say my last words and before sis get in there, we'll do what it do. If y'all do, we'll stay up. If not, we know we'll be back with the next one later. So last thing on that, saying that again, your thoughts and words are vibrations. Once you open your mouth and you come out of the pit of your belly, spitting your thoughts and spewing your thoughts with the energy that you push and spew those words past your vocal cords through them to alleviate that, right? You literally pushing out the atoms that formulate and materialize and helping to construct the reality. This is why you're able to materialize. So we actually give the earth its stability. It runs off of the currents of life, and we're part of that. We're connected to it with the energy.
Yes.
You
Mhm.
know, this is
Once you,
only found in the dark matter energy.
yes,
But go ahead, sis. And yeah, I'm gonna end on that. Then we're gonna see if anybody has something to say. If not, we'll be out of here. But go ahead, sis.
yes, because like you said, like it's all about your intentions. Like, what are you saying and with what energy? Because when you pull it from below and say something like curse someone or bet your life is gonna happen to that person because you pulled it from down below, from your gut,
Exactly.
and with a bad intention, and then you say it, speak it into existence, you manifest it.
Yes.
But when I say I speak from the heart, it's with a total like the green energy, the safe zone, right?
Yes.
Speaking with from love and with your throat chakra, the blue energy, the blue fire. So you're speaking positive vibrations. You're pushing them out and manifesting only good things. So I try to speak positive all the time. It doesn't work all of the time when I get in my feelings, but I try to speak positive things out because I know they can manifest. And when you only speak positive things into existence, you're gonna attract positive things into your life also. Positive
Yes.
people, positive friends, Yeah.
That's right, sis. That's right.
Hmm.
So keeping in mind, guys, in order to reach that gas aspect in the mind, the Christos in that mind, where that higher frequency of the mind is located, these are portals and different things that you can do to ascend there. And try it for yourself, hopefully beneficially. Do not overdo it when you start sun gazing. As I said, it can be very shocking if you do it a lot and you automatically open that veil. It can be scary. I'll be honest. I'm just giving a little bit of advice. I can't tell anyone what to do, but that's just my own opinion. Be careful of this. Make sure that because going through these things and opening up different portals, you allow other things in as well that you may not be able to handle if you're not strong enough and have the power to fight off certain entities, energies, and synergy that are fake. You have to make sure that you're able to do that because you may be tapped in, utilized. They utilize melanated bodies to galvanize our energy, literally reconstructing, terraforming the universe with our freaking energy. It pees me off. The collective melanated body is basically um, governed by the melanated mind, if only if you have it strong. They can feed off of it, with this quantum stuff that they use and technicality, all this stuff. They're trying to literally eliminate the body right now so that they can take the energy and just keep recycling it, put it in, some type of little box and galvanize our energy and start to surplus it into ways that run different realities that they're formulating. I hope you don't want to be a part of that because I damn sure don't. So the body and mind literally work together, guys. This is so important. The eyesight, we went over all this in so much detail. I wanted to make sure I went over this for the person that is interested. And hopefully this is something that can help you to either get to a state that you are in or, if you're already going through this process, you're knowing how to handle it. They use medicines and things to hold people at low vibrational frequencies. Um, so if you're going through certain medical conditions and you want to try to get away from those things, start doing some of these things and, cleansing yourself, sun gazing, pulling in information, allowing your body to heal itself with frequency coding, things of that nature. When you do that, it will help you a lot. So that's kind of all I want to say about that. Nobody, well, oh, yeah, we did have Dark Chameleon. Let's see what he got to say before we get out of here. What's going on, bro? Did you have any questions? I'm glad, sis. I'm so happy that I was able to help you with any information, even if it was one or two things you can look up and study, babe, and you can pass on to anybody else. That makes me feel real good. I know me and sis did
Yeah.
something great this morning. For real, for real. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm,
What's up, brother? Peace and love to you, Rashawn. Thanks so much for coming through, bro. Yeah, we went over a lot of info, bro. If you have time, go back and listen to it about the sun gaze. And I gave a lot of info, took time to make sure you guys know what's going on with that. If you're not informed, I know a lot of people are very informed on this stuff, but a lot of people aren't. So I'm glad to be able to help anybody. And, me and sis thought it was important to go over some things, and, we were able to do it. So, oh, this guy jumped back on. So yeah, Chameleon, you had anything to say before we get out of here, brother?
I'm sorry for dropping off. That was pretty rude. But the only thing I had to say was I don't argue just to argue, right? And the whole thing about it is I'm trying to elevate my mind and my structures on alignment with what is expected of me to do it, right? I don't want to fight with people. I want to keep my energy.
Why are you talking
um,
about fighting then? Let's not even talk about that. You're wasting time with my energy, brother, talking about
because you
fighting.
told me before I came on the panel, you told me if I wanted to argue or fight, don't come up. That's why I said it. And I'm good.
And let
I'm
me
good.
correct you. Let me correct you. That's a lie. Don't lie on me, brother. I didn't say that. What I said is, I said, brother, if you are drinking and are going to be rude, do not come up. That's all I said. And you didn't even have to mention that. Nobody knew that but me and you. And Sister Thomasine
You're
probably
right.
mentioned
You're
it.
right. I'm sorry.
So
You're right.
that's your ignorance. So you're starting something by saying that. I was
I'm
just telling you to
sorry.
be in the proper mind and respectful to me and this other sister because last night you weren't. So I don't think I did anything
I'm
wrong
I'm
by
sorry.
telling
I'm
you
sorry.
to
I'm sorry. I was an asshole.
stop.
Sometimes I be like that. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. Let's not talk about it. What else did you want to say, brother? You had a question or anything on the frequency, the sun gazing. Let's just go there. Did you have something you want to share? Either one. We can do either or.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Um, I think we should let the energy flow the way it's supposed to flow, and not give it to anybody. That is the actual secret, right? I mean, but it's really, I mean, a secret is a secret, right? But that's a secret people won't accept when you tell them about the energy. They don't want to accept it. So let these niggas not get it.
but
They
wait, you
don't
said,
want it. Let's not give it to them. They don't want it. Let's not. Let's keep the energy as the secret because that is the actual truth. All these societies and these people, they got these labels and all this old bullshit. And then when you speak to them, when you start talking about energy, they're gonna shut the fuck down. So at that point, let's not just give them the energy because that's the deciding factor. Let everything else be the deception, and you can use that to your benefit. I mean, on some real YouTube shit. Anytime you talk about energy, all these niggas, they gonna shut the fuck down. They ain't got nothing for it.
Really? Well,
They
we can't
don't.
say that because nobody's up here to say that, so we can't say what information nobody's got, bro. We talk
Yeah.
about
I'm just saying,
hold on,
like,
hold
look,
on,
I'm sorry.
hold on. We talking about energy a lot on other brothers' channels, platforms, panels, their chats. People are always talking about energy. I heard some things that I don't completely coincide with, and then I've heard a lot of information that was very valid and true. So I don't know what you mean when you say that. And even if you feel like that, that's fine. You had a right to feel that, but we don't have to talk about it. Whether people have good
Look, look,
energy
look,
or not,
look at
that's
my
bad
avatar.
energy. That's bad energy saying that. What does your avatar have to
Look at
do
my
with
avatar.
what does that have to do with what we're talking about right now?
Break it down.
But okay, like I think he's saying, like if they don't want to hear it, don't share it with them. But that's why we have our own platform, and then we share it here.
Period.
And if they
And
want to hear it, they can come
and that's the
over.
problem. I'm just saying, like I'm cool with what you said, though, sister. I'm cool with what both of y'all are saying. But I'm telling both of y'all, right? We can talk about everything else anytime we go on any platform, right? But when we start bringing up my avatar, it's gonna be a problem,
Why?
guaranteed. Because my avatar is energy. You see it? It's
Yeah,
Jesus. My
but it,
avatar is Jesus. You look at it, it's the cross.
Really? Is
but
it?
it's
Yeah,
fake. It's fake. It's man-made energy,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
or
like
man,
Jesus.
yeah,
Jesus man-made energy.
generated.
It feeds the entity that is the ultimate deception. How many books was wrote like 100 years ago and still fucks with people, deceives people, tell people what to think? It's like, nigga, shut up,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, but we're not talking about Jesus right now. We're
No,
just
I'm just using it as an example as the
Yeah,
Bible.
but you shouldn't have brought it up. We talking about something totally different, brother. I asked you specifically, did you have something to say on the topic?
I
Frequency,
did.
energy,
I
sun
did.
gazing,
I
sun
did because
properties.
energy is Jesus. The answer to the whole question of what Jesus is actually energy. And okay, you can close your show. I just had to say that.
Well,
That's
you
why I
can't
came
tell
up here.
you don't tell me what to do. I'll close them when I get ready. Thank you very much. If you're done, you're done.
I'm
If
sorry. I'm sorry.
you
My
have
bad.
nothing else to say, brother, that's fine. Are you done? Did you have anything else to say?
Look at my avatar. That's it.
we
All
saw
right.
it. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Peace out, bro. You have a good one, okay?
Much love, peace, brother. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So, yeah. Anybody have any questions? I see a couple of the sisters is in here. Me and sis about to close out. I'll probably go live a little later. I want to talk a little bit more about the health stuff. It is very important. Like I said, let me say this once again for me. That Trinity, the Trinity is the mind, body, and the soul. You
Yeah.
know, we talked a lot about things that would be beneficial, a lot about things that will help you, cleansing yourself, getting yourself there, helping to enlighten yourself, helping to create the Christos, helping to elevate that gas aspect so that you are able to ascend and flow through the time and space and get to reality. When we go through the spaces of the so-called time that is fake that keeps you in the false reality. Once you escape time, therefore you have proceeded past that. You can go on to the other dimensions. You got like 8 more to go. So yeah. Just start getting ready to get yourself ready, prepared to do what you need to do to get to the places in your mind, your body, your spirit, clarifying, cleansing, protecting yourself from all these weird energies, freaky, weirdish stuff going on. Every time you turn around, something going on with these guys in the community. They acting weird. They trying to manipulate, break down the minds and destruction of these children so that they traumatize for life. And I mean, I'm just so tired of it. People playing mind games with people. They act like they're here for you and they support you. This, and that. You support them. Blah 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 blah. But you really don't see it coming back. All of that. Yeah, we just got to make sure we're doing the things that we need to do to get ourselves in a proper space to of just being right, being right in our Trinity thought and so on and so forth. Oh, okay, bro, up here. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How y'all doing today?
We are doing awesome.
That's great.
Yes,
That's great.
peace, peace.
Um, I came in kind of late. I came in at a part where you was talking about how you got to be careful what you say and all of that, and it made me think about like I'm one of the people who into the whole mental universe thing, and even with certain dreams that I have, if something messed up happened in the dream, especially to somebody else, I don't tell them about the dream.
Mm,
I don't even talk about it because what once it comes from your mind and out your mouth, now it's in this world we're walking around in.
mm-hmm,
And with that, it takes me back to the sun gazing thing. Cause like the sunlight is like mind to me, sunlight and darkness, because there's something that um you can't contain it. Like you can't fill a cup up with light and put a top on it to keep the light in there, or darkness, or mind. So all of those kind of go hand in hand to me, and also will bringing negative thoughts from your mind and out of your mouth into this world. Like without vision, it when you're not really thinking about it, it seems like you projecting your vision outward, but
mm-hmm.
it's the complete opposite. You soaking the whole world into your eyeballs, into these black holes.
Yes.
So everything around you is coming into you and becoming a part of you, and it stays there. So that I really was feeling that when you was talking about be careful what you say and all of that, like what you put out there, and I guess to sum it up to keep from rambling, I just wanted to put that part in there. I wish it was like part of that conversation. I wish I had jumped in earlier.
Oh, it was, babe. You missed it. Earlier, actually, the title about the sun gate, and that's what we was really talking about. All of that, what you just said. We literally said we talked about all of that and how these portals, how our eyes are literally the portals to our reality. So when you're pulling in all this information, which is the waveform of the wave formatting information that actually writes on your brain, and then you start to push out and you're seeing or projecting in your mind the visualization of the materialized physicalities of the atomic structure. It's not really there. The shit is not even real. It's what you reconstructed in your mind and you put it out and this is what it is. So this is why we are able to actually manipulate reality. We're able to actually manifest things by that. Like you just said, if you're saying the wrong thing, this, and that, you're putting that out there in the reality. If you don't put it out there, it's not going to be able to formulate because why? Once you speak, you're pulling out of your gut, out of your stomach. The atoms are pushing with the air that comes out of you, which is life, a part of your life coming out of your body. You're pushing it out when you're saying these words. You're pushing and projecting it, and you're saying blah 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 blah. Once you're pushing it out, like now I'm formulating these words and I'm pushing it out to the atmosphere for people to perceive like I've been doing since I've been around the YouTube. I hear there are a lot of people that do. You know what they do? They'll take it to their platform and then they'll start speaking on it and they'll change it, they'll make it their own thing. I love it. They don't mention me, they don't say nothing. I don't care. You know why? Because this is what I'm doing. I want this information out. I don't care who putting it out there, who get it, who receive it,
Yes.
when they receive it. So what I do, I take my time out. I jump on people's panels and I'll say this, this. Somebody might say, oh, that's pseudo. Oh, she ain't making sense. Da, da. Okay, you saying that, but somebody's receiving this because I already know it was meant for me to say it. I
At
had to say
least,
it.
yeah. You've
You
been
you
heard. Yeah.
you're right about that because there's been a lot of times I'll be listening to a show and somebody will say something that it's really intriguing to me, but they'll get shut down, and I'd be like, damn, I wish that person could have, had their time to shine just then.
Yes.
Well, when they throw that pseudo word out there, it kind of just it hinders what the person is really trying to get to.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, I always talk about spirit and soul, like the spirituality. And most people, and because I understand people say like spirit and like spirituality is something you have to experience yourself. You can't tell anybody, about it or try to teach it. You can tell, but you can't teach because it's something personal for everybody. It's what
No,
you experience.
that was a great way to put it. You can tell, but you can't teach. Cause
Yes.
That's
that's
right.
how I like it. I was planning on starting to upload content on my channel. I still am one of these days, but when I do, I want it to be kind of like how y'all do y'all. It's like y'all not trying to teach the stuff or like or force it down somebody's throat. You
That's
just
right.
telling them something, and if they like it, you catch on to it, and you could just talk about it, and you won't have to argue because you're not teaching. You're not trying to be a teacher.
That's
Yeah.
right, brother. It's about exposing and bringing or shedding a light on particular information somebody may not be privy to.
Hmm.
And if you know this information and you're not sharing it and it might benefit someone, what type of person would I be not to do that? So my thing is, I'm a master learner of thoughts, innovation, growing, sharing, all these things. I'm doing these things, so I expect it from other people. I don't always get it, which is okay. I meet a few that help me out, like my sis, they're on the same page as me, so I can flow freely, and then it allows me to share and be me to do what I need to do for other people as well, because they're going to either take it and learn from it or not. And if you don't, that's fine. If you don't, you don't have to learn anything or take anything from it. But hopefully you at least heard something that maybe you can at least look at something, check something out I said, even if you don't believe me. Oh, that sounds stupid. That sounds crazy. Let me look it up. At least do that. And then you can see if it makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving those options out there to anybody that want to take it in.
Yeah.
Right, right. I'm feeling that 100%, 100%. Cause I tend to if I haven't heard of it, and the crazier it sounds, the more I want to check it out. Really.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say that, bro. Yeah.
Oh man, it has to sound unbelievable, and I'm like, oh wow, I want to learn. Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
that sound crazy. That's ludicrous. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or somebody say something, you like, wait a minute, that just sounds like that's too good, or that's too something, or whatever. I got to make sure
Mhm.
they, I'm gonna prove them wrong because that just don't make sense, or that's just too crazy, or that's just too out of here for that to be real, or let me make sure I
Hmm.
prove them wrong. I'm gonna check it out, and then I'll be like, oh shit, they was right.
Yeah, and
you
it'll blow
know?
my mind.
And most of the things I talk about on my channel is like all spiritual. And I tell about my country, how we about our traditions, and then I can tell it, but I can't teach you like how to go in a trance. It's something you have to experience yourself. Once you're aligned, that's it.
Yeah,
Then
you
yeah, it's
definitely got to experience yourself.
yeah.
So where you from? Where you from, Sister Alma?
Me? Oh, I'm from Suriname, South America.
Oh dang, that's cool. That's okay. Well, I got kind of a random question. I always want do South Americans call themselves Americans?
Say it again.
Mm,
The-
I
the-
never.
I, I always wonder if South Americans do they call themselves Americans?
That's a good question. Yeah,
right.
like, let me see. Now we call ourselves like we're really proud to be like Suriname is near Brazil, so it's in South America, but it's not an island. It's like on the continent. So we're proud to call ourselves Suriname people.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I've never.
That's
I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I'm gonna ask around. Like, wait a minute. Do you consider yourself American? Yeah.
I always wanted that. Oh, yeah, y'all gotta pardon me. I realized how low my phone battery is. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Thanks so much for coming up, bro. We appreciate you and appreciate you being in the chats. I'll be seeing you. Have a good day today, bro.
Okay, y'all do the same.
Yes, peace and love.
Love.
Sis, that was your that was your channel that I had highlighted, right?
Yeah, because I'm gonna like
This is
if
right
you're
here,
gonna
baby.
end yours, I'm still going on for like 30 minutes and then I'm gonna shut down also. I'm gonna give them a chance to come on the panel also over there.
Oh, okay. Well, then you if you do, then I'll just I'll come over there. Obviously, you already know.
Yeah, then we can continue the
But yeah, oh, so yeah, everybody, the link right here that is highlighted, this is sisters link to where we're at now, and then we're gonna go over there and keep it, we could just, hey, we'll continue from there. Let's start the party over there. Guys, no, it's not. But yeah, yeah, we about to go over there now. I'm gonna just end now. We'll do that. So,
yeah, because
Solar
I don't
Maid, just to make sure, babe, did you get the channel? Up here, it's right up here. Let me highlight it again, boo.
yeah,
Da, 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 da. Where is
because
it now? Oh, no, put it in there again, sis. I don't know what the heck.
oh, let me see.
I just seen it.
Um,
I just had to hide. Oh, there you go. I got it. Okay.
okay.
There it goes, sweetheart. So yeah, grab that. So we about to head over there to sis line and continue the conversation from there. Appreciate you guys so much for coming up.
Yeah,
As usual, sis, I love you. Thank you so much for coming in.
yeah,
To support me while I went over a lot of this little stuff because man, it's just like we be having so much stuff we got to get out. Sis, she be on a level of things that she likes to share with us and help us open up our minds in different areas too. So, the topic may or may not change, guys, but either way, we're about to still be talking about some good, interesting topics. And, hopefully we can extend the opening of some portals and some minds and some spirits and show people some ways or invite them into ways that hopefully can help them in their physical as well. So that's all my goal is
yes.
to help everybody. I love everybody. I really do, whether you know it's genuine or not. So peace and blessings, love. If you out today, guys, kick some water, snacks, something in your car. Give somebody a thing or something. If you see them standing around acting like they hungry, starving for work, for food, whatever they be saying on them signs, give them a little something, if you can to nourish them a little bit or give them a little bit of hydration because it's like hot. I don't know where you guys are. It's like it'd be 100 and some degrees here. So if it's anything like 80 or better, it's still hot. So if you could do that, do that. Peace and love, guys. We out. Sis, you got anything to say before we get over there?
I want to thank everybody who came and listened to us. It was a powerful build, or it is still a powerful build. We can continue on my channel. I shared your link, Sister Soul, in my chat a couple of times also. So that's why I think hard to explain came over because he was first, he was in my
Oh,
chat
okay.
and he saw the link. I'm like, so yeah. So they were, I guess they were helping, back and forth. So yeah, we can continue.
Yeah, we like that. Appreciate that, guys. Show the
Yeah,
support,
we
make sure
gotta
they
do this
support
more
us.
often.
That's what's up. Yeah, we
Hmm.
like that. Yes. All
Yeah.
right. We appreciate you guys. Like I said, come on, meet us over there. Look like they about gone, sis, and we got. Let's get it, sis.
Yes. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.